Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Crime on this Thursday with episodes of Inner Sanctum Mysteries, the new Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, Did Justice Triumph, and the Adventures of Philip Marlowe, and we'll wrap it all up with Claudia. That's all straight ahead. On this Sure Happy It's Thursday, this is the 26th day of March, 85th day of the year, 280 days left in the year. Jonas Salk on this date in 1953 announced his polio vaccine.
Who owns the patent on this vaccine?
Well, the people, I would say. There is no patent. This is... Could you patent the sun?
The Salk vaccine literally obliterated the disease of polio. Anwar Sadat, Menachem Begin, Jimmy Carter signed the Israeli-Egyptian peace treaty on this date in 1979 in Washington.
Let there be no more despair or loss of faith. Let no mother lament the loss of her child. Let no young man waste his life on a conflict from which no one benefits. Let there be no more wars or bloodshed between Arabs and Israelis.
Anwar Sadat.
Now it is time for all of us to show civil courage in order to proclaim to our peoples and to others, no more war, no more bloodshed, no more bereavement, peace unto you, shalom, salam, forever.
Menachem Begin. To cite this historic peace treaty back in 1979, there is still no peace in the Middle East. A groundbreaking ceremony on this date in 1982 for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington.
Let this become a holy place, a place of tribute, a place of healing, a place of learning.
Arlington National Cemetery chaplain Max Sullivan. International Monetary Fund approved a $10.2 billion loan for Russia on this date in 1996. And it was on this date in 1997, 39 bodies found in the Heaven's Gate cult suicides.
You can follow us, but you cannot stay here and follow us.
Marshall Applewhite, the leader of the cult, a ritual sparked by the appearance of the Hale-Bopp comet. The cult believed that was their vehicle to a higher level of being. The Melissa worm infected email systems around the world on this date in 1999. The author, David Smith, caught by the FBI, sentenced to 20 months in a federal prison and a $5,000 fine. A jury in Michigan found Dr. Jack Kevorkian guilty of second-degree murder on this date in 1999 for administering a lethal injection to a terminally ill man. It was on this date in 2001 the Monday Night Wars came to an end, as World Championship Wrestling's final Monday Nitro broadcast on TNT after the World Wrestling Federation bought the rival company from Turner Networks. It seemed that they didn't think that wrestling was quite appropriate for their demographic or whatever. What is most interesting is after it went away, the ratings for TNT went away. Now, in 2017, Russia-wide anti-corruption protests in 99 cities. The Levada Center survey showed 38% of surveyed Russians supported protests. 67% held Putin personally responsible for high-level corruption. And yet, 9 years later, Putin's still in charge. And it was 2 years ago today, the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore collapsed following a collision between the MV Dolly container ship and one of the bridge's support pillars. 6 people were killed. Passing away on this date in history, Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan.
I come to the floor on very sad business, both for this body, for my state, and my country. We have just received word that Senator Patrick Moynihan has passed away.
Former First Lady and at the time Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton announcing the passage of Daniel Patrick Moynihan to the U.S. Senate. Also passing away on this date, composer Ludwig van Beethoven, poet Walt Whitman, the patriarch of the Barrymore family, Maurice Barrymore. Also composer, playwright Noel Coward, politician Edmund Muskie, Jan Barry of Jan and Dean, and the first female major party vice presidential candidate, Geraldine Ferraro, all passing away on this date. Those who were born on this date but are no longer with us include the poet Robert Frost, dramatist Tennessee Williams, from Cool Hand Luke, Strother Martin, comedian Bob Elliott of Bob and Ray fame, Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, Leonard Nimoy, also actor Alan Arkin, actor Jimmy Kahn, and singer Teddy Pendergrass. All those folks born on this date in history, they are now performing on a much different stage.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Former Speaker of the House and soon to be retiring from the House, Nancy Pelosi, 86 years old today.
For me, the hour's come for a new generation to lead the Democratic caucus that I so deeply respect. And I'm grateful that so many are ready and willing to shoulder this awesome responsibility.
Now, I believe that, yes, the politicians should have some time in office to make changes. But as long as some of these people have been in office, it truly is not something that we need. We don't need people spending 40, 50 years in the Senate and the House. Shouldn't be. Wrote The Fear of Flying, Erica Jong, 84. Journalist Bob Woodward, 83. The Supremes' Diana Ross is 82 today. Aerosmith's Steven Tyler, 78. From The Carol Burnett Show and Mama's Family, Vicki Lawrence, 77. Comedian Martin Short, 76. The founder of the Guardian Angels, Curtis Sliwa, is 72 today. She did Sleeping with the Radio On. Charlie McLean, 70 years old. TV host Lisa Gibbons, 67. She got an Academy Award nomination for being John Malkovich. Catherine Keener, 67.
I am dubious, but I don't Welsh. Okay, meet me at the Stuck Pig, 7 o'clock. If you're late, I walk.
Catherine Keener, 67 today. She was Ferris Bueller's sister in the Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I believe that was the name of the movie. Also, you saw her in Dirty Dancing and Red Dawn. Jennifer Grey, 66 years old. Country singer Kenny Chesney is 58. From Starship Troopers and Felicity, Amy Smart is 50. I saw her first in Bend It Like Beckham, but she was also in Pirates of the Caribbean and Pride and Prejudice. The lovely and talented Keira Knightley is 41.
I think it would be very hard on younger sisters not to have their share of amusement because the elder is still unmarried. It would hardly encourage sisterly affection.
The very British Keira Knightley, 41 today. From Suburgatory, the sitcom, Carly Chaikin is 36 today.
I know, right? I just wish they could look beyond the color of my tan and see the content of my closet. Because I have really nice stuff in my closet, you know?
That's so crazy. Carly Chaikin, 36 today. And the mixed martial artist and model, formerly with All Elite Wrestling, Paige Van Zandt is 32 today. Those just a few of the people celebrating the 26th day of March as their birthday. If this is your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
If you're dealing with acid reflux, if you're dealing with throat issues, if you're dealing with general gastric distress, don't chow down on the Tums. Don't chow down on the Rolaids. Don't take the prescription or non-prescription stuff to deal with that before you check out Professor B's Digestive Aid. Now, this was developed for a gentleman going through folk cancer and was having digestive issues. And 2 simple, pure, natural ingredients, honey and aphtheria. You check it out at Professor B's Digestive Aid's website, profbees.com. Links in the show notes, links at classicradio.stream. profbees.com, profbees.com. If you like what you see once you get there, use the promo code Wyatt. That supports the podcast, and it also saves you 10% on your purchase. Check it out, Professor B's Digestive Aid, profbees.com. Your gut deserves all the help you can give it. Professor B's Digestive Aid, profbees.com, promo code Wyatt. We'll go back 80 years in a moment and see how death is a double dealer with the Inner Sanctum Mysteries.
Gee, that looks good. It looks just like tomato juice.
But it's 8 juices, good for you and me, V8.
Well, I still say it looks like tomato juice.
But it's 8 ways tasty. Discover it and see. 8 lively juices, vegetable juices, yours for good health in V8.
But I still say it looks like tomato juice.
Well, just take one taste of V8.
Wow, it sure doesn't taste like tomato juice.
Of course not. It tastes like V8.
Great.
V8 cocktail vegetable juice from Campbell's.
Now that you've had a delightful glass of V8 juice, let's check in with something else that's very red. And that is the blood we find at Inner Sanctum Mysteries. This is going back 80 years ago, March 26, 1946. Lawson Zerbe stars in Death is a Double Crosser. Shall we open the creaking door now?
Lipton Tea and Lipton Soups present Inner Sanctum Mysteries. Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum. This is your host to welcome you through the squeaking door. What's that? You're scared? Don't be frightened. Why, we've been beating our brains out to make things pleasant for you. Yes, take that fellow lying on the floor. Now, that's a nice guy, really solicitous. He put a bullet through his head because he didn't want you to be bored. Oh, you don't like that pretty lady hanging from the chandelier? Well, we'll fix that. We'll cut her down and nail her to the wall. Then she'll be a pin-up girl.
My goodness, Mr. Host. Sounds as if there's nothing you and your friends wouldn't do to oblige.
Oh, but there is, Mary. You'd never catch us being nice to anyone to oblige. Not on your death would we do that.
I can't believe you're so different from most people, Mr. Host. And most people enjoy doing nice things for others.
Like what, Mary?
Why, like always having Lipton tea on the table. That's one of the nicest things you can do for your family and friends. Why do I say Lipton tea? Well, there's a good reason for that. Lipton's has that wonderful brisk flavor. And brisk flavor is the thing that makes a world of difference between Lipton's and other teas. In fact, brisk is the tea expert's own word for that fresh, lively, full-bodied flavor of Lipton tea. And it's a word you'll agree just naturally applies to Lipton's the very first time you taste this delicious tea. For Lipton's has a zesty, full flavor that makes it stand right out. So, for extra cheer and comfort and satisfaction in your tea drinking, get acquainted with Lipton's right away. Why put up with just so-so teas any longer when there's so much more pleasure to be found in Lipton's brisk flavor?
And now, friends, Do whatever it is that you do when fear fastens cold fingers on your spine. A cigarette, perhaps, or a handkerchief to twist? Anything to brace you against tonight's tale of horror. It's an original radio play written especially for Inner Sanctum by Michael Sklar and called Death is a Double Crosser. Our star tonight is Lawson Zerbe, who plays the part of Harry Smith, murderer.
I looked at the blood-splattered mallet, still gripped in my hand, and down at Marie's body. It was like coming out of a bad dream, only to go into a nightmare. Instead of using a mallet to cut the King Midas diamond, I'd used it to murder my wife. And the big diamond was still in the vise, still sparkling in the light of the work lamp, still tormenting me with the glow of its inner fires. The thing was evil. Anderson had warned me.
Does the diamond frighten you, Harry? No wonder. The story of great diamonds is a history of intrigue, violence, murder.
Anderson was right. My luck had been all bad ever since I came to his house. It was one of those old New York brownstones, big enough for several families, but only 2 people were living there when I came. Anderson and my wife. Marie was working as his housekeeper, and she gave me the layout.
He's about 70 years old, Harry. He lives all alone here. It's perfect for you.
No family?
No wife, no children, no friends. He never goes out except on business, and no one ever comes to see him.
Sounds good to me, Marie.
Good. It's perfect. I'll tell him you just got out of the army. He won't ask questions. He'll never find out you were in prison.
What does he do for a living?
He's a diamond cutter.
A diamond cutter? You don't say.
He was famous once.
Diamonds?
He doesn't cut little ones, Harry. Only the great big diamonds worth thousands of dollars.
I moved in with Marie, and for a while everything was quiet. I didn't mind the quiet after that 5-year forgery rap in Sing Sing. And then one day the peace and quiet ended. I met old Anderson on the steps going down to the street.
Good morning, Harry.
Oh, hello, Mr. Anderson. Hey, you look all excited. Some good news come your way?
I hope so, Harry. Of course, I can well afford to be idle, but it would be pleasant to work again. And it's nice to know that people still remember you.
Is it a job?
A wonderful job. If I get the assignment, I'm sure I'll get it. He couldn't give it to anyone else.
A diamond?
One of the largest diamonds in the world. The King Midas stone, discovered last year in the Kimberley Fields. It was purchased recently by Johnson, the multimillionaire. I'm on my way to his home to discuss the cutting.
Well, good luck. I sure hope you get the job, Mr. Anderson. The next afternoon, Anderson invited me up to his workroom. On the bench was a square black velvet covered by a white cloth. Something big was underneath that cloth. Anderson lifted it, and for the first time I saw the King Midas diamond.
What do you think of it, Harry?
For a second, I couldn't talk. The blood was pumping too fast.
215 carats. When I'm finished cutting, it'll be reduced to 125.
How much will it be worth?
Diamond like that? You could get $100,000, and no questions asked.
Well, it's funny. It's kind of oily on the surface, but down inside it gleams like it's on fire.
Does it frighten you?
Yeah. Stone like that does things to you.
The story of great diamonds is a history of intrigue, violence, murder.
You said something about cutting it.
I'd have to study the King Midas until every detail of the task is clear in my mind. Then just a few light blows of the mallet on the chisel, and the result will be a flawless diamond.
How long will it take?
Oh, I should say about 2 months, Harry.
I went downstairs to Marie. One look at me, and she knew something had happened. I told her my plan.
If they catch you, they'll send you back to jail.
They won't catch me. I've got it all figured out. This is our chance. He told me himself that the diamond will be worth $100,000 when he's finished.
$100,000?
Yeah. No more pots and pans and scrubbing floors. No more passing phony checks. We'll be set for life, Marie.
How are you going to go about it?
I'll wait until he's finished cutting the diamond.
How will you know when he's finished? You'd have to know the exact time. If you waited too long, he might turn it over to the owner, Mr. Johnson. Then where would you be?
Don't worry. I've got that figured out, too.
So you want to become a diamond cutter, Harry?
If you'll teach me the work, Mr. Anderson, I promise it won't be any bother. All I want to do is watch you while you go about cutting the King Midas.
Diamond cutters aren't made overnight. Takes a great deal of time. I spent 50 years learning the craft.
Oh, please, Mr. Anderson, you don't know what this means to me.
Well, all right, Harry. I'll let you watch me as I work.
So that's how it began. Every day for 2 months, I went upstairs and watched Anderson as he studied the King Midas diamond.
Cleavage must take place along planes parallel to the octahedron bases of the crystal.
Step by step, he explained the job, how he would split it, where he would place the notches so that the diamond would split along the exact lines he wanted. He went over every detail again and again and again. Finally, he cut the notches for the splitting. Slowly, carefully. And then he placed the diamond in the vise. He got out the chisel and the mallet and placed them on the workbench. It was like a wedding ceremony. I was on fire. I couldn't wait.
Just a few taps with the mallet, and it's done.
Are you going to do it now?
No, Harry. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. He kept putting it off. Then I realized what it was. He was scared. He couldn't trust his unsteady hands. It hit me like a ton of brick. He was never going to cut that diamond.
You're so smart. What are you going to do now?
I'm going to cut the diamond myself.
You?
Yeah, me. I know how to do it. It's all set. There's nothing to it.
But what about Anderson?
We don't need Anderson anymore.
You mean...
Yeah.
But that's murder.
So it's murder. They'll never pin it on us. I've figured out a way to do it without leaving any trace behind. We went upstairs. Anderson was standing where I left him at the workbench. He was so lost in thought that he didn't hear us come in.
He isn't looking. Get it over with.
All right.
Let go of me.
I don't like to do this, Mr. Anderson, honest.
Marie, stop him.
It's no use, Mr. Anderson.
I don't. Please.
He begged for mercy. He fought back, but it was useless. I had a firm grip on his neck with both hands, and he was an old man. I squeezed tighter and tighter till his voice was cut off. His body stopped thrashing around. I held him like that a couple of seconds more for good measure.
You can let go of him now. He's dead, Harry.
Dear. Imagine that. Cold-blooded murder. Killing a harmless old man like Mr. Anderson, choking him to death. Doesn't that slay you? And all because of a piece of ice. Why, it makes me hot under the collar. And that cool cucumber, Harry Smith. I'll bet he gets so hot that he'll burn before he's through.
Brr, Mr. Host. I'd surely hate to look forward to such a fate.
Oh, no danger, Mary. That is, unless you plan to embark on a crime career just for excitement.
Oh, no, thank you, Mr. Host. I find enough excitement in the little everyday pleasures of life. Take yesterday, for instance. I was in the middle of the luncheon dishes when the doorbell rang, and in walked my cousin Betty, a whack just back from overseas. You can imagine that called for a real celebration. And in no time, I had the tea kettle on, and we were sitting down to a real gab fest over our friendly cups of Lipton tea. We were in the sunroom, and the sun was streaming in, lending its bright golden rays to cheer us on. We just sat there sipping and talking. Oh, it must have been for hours, because the sun was going down in a rosy blaze when we finally tore ourselves away. And believe me, Lipton's played a lively part in the fun we had. Even Betty remarked on it. When she got up to go, she said, "You know, Mary, it's tea like that that makes a person glad to be home again." And friends, that's really true. Lipton's grand, brisk flavor is worth hunting the world over to enjoy. It gives you such extra delight, complete satisfaction. Try it yourself. Tomorrow, start enjoying Lipton's, the tea with brisk flavor.
Well, friends, let's get back to Harry Smith and his charming wife. Such nice people. They killed old Anderson, the diamond cutter, to steal a piece of ice worth $100,000. And unless they have a lot of another kind of ice handy, they'll have to do something fast to get rid of the body.
We carried Anderson's body down to the cellar and broke open the brick wall. Placing the old man's body behind it, we bricked it up again. Then we went through my plan. I wrote a suicide note.
To whom it may concern, I, Olaf Anderson, because I failed in the task of cutting the King Midas diamond, have decided to take my life. When this note is found, I will be dead.
It was easy for me, a professional forger, to fake the suicide note in Anderson's handwriting. I had him say he was going to end it all in the river and that he was taking the diamond with him to his death. And that night, Marie and I took a walk across the footpath over the Hudson River Bridge. When we reached the middle,
You got the suicide note in Anderson's overcoat pocket?
Yeah.
No cars coming from either direction. Now's a good time to drop it.
There. The cops will find the coat and figure that he took it off before he climbed the rail and jumped.
All right. Come on, hurry. Let's get away from here.
We went home. Marie telephoned police headquarters and asked for the Missing Persons Bureau.
Hello? I want to report a missing person. It's the man I work for, Olaf Anderson. Yes, Anderson. I'm his housekeeper, and I'm worried because it's so late and he hasn't come home. My name? Mrs. Harry Smith.
We went to bed. I guess we would hear from the police the next morning, and I was right.
Yes, what is it?
Megan is the name, lady. Detective Joe Megan, Missing Persons Bureau.
Oh, yes, come in.
Are you the party who reported a man named Olaf Anderson missing?
Yes, did you...
Did we find him? I think so. I'd like you folks to come down to the morgue with me.
The morgue?
What for?
They've got a body down there. Body of an old man that fits the description of Anderson. It was fished out of the Hudson River early this morning. You might be able to identify it. Here we are, folks. Before I lift the sheet on this slab, I ought to warn you. This stiff ain't exactly pretty.
We can stand a little shock, Megan.
And I just thought the lady...
I'm all right.
Okay, then. Well, you recognize him?
His face, it's gone like he went through a meat chopper.
Most of his clothes were gone, too, when we got him. Poor guy must have got caught in the propeller of a passing ship.
Marie, it's Mr. Anderson.
Harry.
Don't you recognize the pants? They're from that old suit he always used to wear.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're right.
So you can identify him, eh?
I'm sure that's Mr. Anderson.
Well, I guess that closes the case. Suicide. Body recovered. And a great big hunk of diamond at the bottom of the Hudson River.
It was a lucky break for us. We were in the clear, and the King Midas diamond was ours. We went back to the house. I took the diamond up to the workroom, and I placed it in a vise. I got out the mallet and the chisel. I thought it would be easy to cut the stone until I tried.
Well, what are you waiting for?
My hand is shaking. I'm kind of nervous. Things have been coming too fast. Let's put this off until tomorrow. I know I said I'd do it tonight, but...
But what?
I don't feel so well tonight, Marie.
You're lying. How long are you going to keep this up?
I take it easy.
You said you knew how to do it.
I do.
Well, then cut it. For heaven's sakes, get it over with.
Don't rush me. If I make a mistake, it'll cost us $100,000.
You've been putting it off for 3 days now, Harry. First this and then that. There's always something. You've always got a reason for not cutting that diamond.
Now, listen, Marie, I've got to be careful. Knowing how to cut the diamond is one thing, doing it is another.
You're scared. That's what's the matter with you.
Don't say that.
You're frightened. Look at your hands. See how they shake. Well, you can hardly hold the mallet and chisel. You're as bad as Anderson was.
She was right. My hands were shaking, just like Anderson's before I killed him. I tried for control. I told myself the diamond was nothing but a chunk of carbon crystal. I placed the chisel against the stone. I raised the mallet. But I couldn't bring it down.
Now what are you waiting for?
I don't know how hard to strike.
A gentle blow. That's what you said Anderson told you.
I can't do it.
You can't do it. Of course you can. Don't be a stupid fool. There's nothing to it.
She went wild. She began to shake my arm and scream at me. But her voice seemed to come from a distance. I kept staring at that diamond as though I were hypnotized. My throat was dry as dust. I was dizzy. Pinpoints of fire shot across my eyes. The diamond was doing things to me, and it was driving Marie crazy. Suddenly, I couldn't stand it. Her voice snapped something in my mind.
You fool, you stupid idiot. Don't stand there like a silly fool.
Shut up.
Don't you dare shout at me.
Shut up. I've had all I can take from you.
Why, of all the nerve, you... Harry, put down that mallet. Stay away from me. I didn't mean those things I said. Take as much time as you like. Don't... Harry!
Marie. I'm sorry. I lost my head. Marie, say something. She's dead. I killed her. I took her body down to the cellar, reopened the wall, and placed her body with Anderson's. I'd hardly finished putting the bricks back into place when the front doorbell rang. I cleaned my hands, went upstairs, and opened it.
Hello, Smith.
It was Megan, the detective. He came in, looked around suspiciously, and closed the door behind him.
What's the matter with you, Smith?
Me?
Yeah, you. You look sick.
Me sick? I never felt better in my life.
Maybe it's the light. Is your wife at home?
No, she isn't.
Expect her home soon?
Oh, I know. No, she went to Baltimore to visit her mother.
Left kind of suddenly, didn't she?
What are you driving at, Megan?
Take the chip off your shoulder. Nobody's picking on you yet.
What do you mean?
This Anderson suicide.
You said the case was closed.
It's closed until this morning. Now there's a couple of angles in the case that don't make sense. I'm not even sure the old guy we pulled out of the river is Anderson.
But I identified him.
Sure you did. Yesterday, a guy named Keeler showed up at the morgue and swore that same body was his father.
It must be Anderson. A suicide note.
Suicide note said Anderson was killing himself because he made a mistake and ruined the King Midas diamond.
There, don't you see?
But Anderson never got the job of cutting that diamond.
Hey, what? Say that again.
Anderson never was commissioned to cut the King Midas diamond. How do you like that?
It can't be. He told me himself.
I got that information straight from the owner, Mr. Johnson.
I don't believe it.
Johnson was out of town until this morning. I got in touch with him, making a routine check on the facts. He told me he never commissioned Anderson to cut the stone. Said Anderson was too old and unreliable to be trusted with the job.
Well, I saw the diamond. Saw it on Anderson's workbench.
The diamond you saw must have been a phony.
A diamond. Still upstairs in the workroom. Still waiting to be cut. I couldn't believe it was a phony. I wouldn't believe it. It had to be the King Midas. Megan was getting more and more suspicious. I had to act fast before he got down to the cellar and noticed the fresh plaster on the wall. I had to make sure about the diamond. I'd gone too far now to back out. I hit Megan on the head with an andiron. He was unconscious. I dragged his body into the closet and locked the door. Upstairs in the workroom, I grabbed up the chisel mallet. No time to think now, no time to be frightened. I had to know if that diamond was the King Midas. I put the edge of the chisel to one of the cleaving grooves and struck with the mallet. It chips like glass. Yeah, it is glass. Megan was right. I went through all this for nothing. The whole thing was clear now. Anderson had lied to me. He had lied even to himself. Yeah, that was it. He had been unwilling to admit even to himself that he was no longer good enough to be trusted to cut the King Midas diamond. He was nuts. And he made up that crazy story. And I swallowed it. There was one thing left to do. I had to get away. As far away as possible and as fast as I could. I ran to the stairs.
Going somewhere, Smith?
Megan.
Hoist your hands. Get 'em up higher. Now, come on down here. That's close enough.
How'd you get out of the closet?
It's no trick at all to force that door when I recovered from the crack on the head you gave me. That sock did something for me, Smith. You know, it gave me a brand new angle on this case.
A new angle?
Yeah. How's this? You thought Anderson had the King Midas diamond. So you killed him for it and planted that phony suicide note on the bridge. You know, we almost fell for it.
No,
You killed Anderson. I wouldn't be at all surprised if you murdered your wife. And all for a phony 5 and 10 cent store diamond.
Poor Harry Smith. What a life. A Smith caught between the hammer and the anvil. You know, he never should have lost his head and murdered his wife. No, because now it looks as though he's going to have to lose the rest of him. Yes, right now, Harry is really harried. And when the state executioner gets him, he'll be fit to be tied in a noose.
Well, this has all been very exciting, Mr. Host. But now, before we go, suppose we leave our listeners with a very special word.
And that word is?
A word that's quicker to say than a minute. The word brisk. Because, friends, brisk signifies the flavor you want in a tea. And brisk stands for Lipton tea. So if you like tea at its most flavorful, delicious best, just remember this. Always ask for Lipton tea. Maybe you meant to get it last week and just forgot. Well, keep that from happening again. Right now, put down Lipton tea on tomorrow's grocery list.
And now, friends, a few parting words of advice culled from the case history of Harry Smith. Remember, you can't afford to cut up when you cut diamonds. And don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today, because someone might do you in tomorrow. Oh, by the way, this month's Inner Sanctum mystery novel is The Lying Ladies by Robert Finnegan. And next week, the makers of Lipton Tea and Lipton Soups will bring you another Inner Sanctum story, directed by Hyman Brown, and called Night is My Shroud. Where would you least expect to meet the man of your dreams? You know, tall, good-looking, well-groomed. In the movies? Tending the soda fountain? Or right in your own dumbwaiter? You'll be listening to Inner Sanctum at the same time next week to see how your dream may come true as only dead dreams can. Until then, good night. Pleasant dreams.
To make him say, "I'll have another helping of soup, please," better serve lots more Lipton's noodle soup. And serve it lots more often, friends. It's delicious, chickeny tasting soup. Has that real old-fashioned flavor. And it's full of tempting, tender noodles. You prepare Lipton's noodle soup mix with ease and speed, and it costs less and makes lots more. It's Lipton's noodle soup. So ask for some tomorrow. And next week, tune in for another Inner Sanctum Mystery.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
And there you have it, Inner Sanctum Mysteries, 80 years ago, March 26th, 1946. Death is a double-crosser. Coming up next on Classic Radio Theater, we trot out the infamous pair when we're dealing with the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and those are Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce, going back 81 years ago. That's next.
Get my husband off to work, start the kids on their way, wash the breakfast dishes, and straighten up the kitchen, dash down to the supermarket to get there before the crowd. Then I come home and throw the clothes in the washing machine, and by mid-morning, I've completely run out of steam.
Have a cup of Jason Sanborn and get what's been missing. Missing in your instant coffee. Rich instant Jason Sanborn has pure coffee nectar.
Wonderful what a cup of instant Jason Sanborn does for you. Gives you the extra flavor, extra aroma, extra richness of pure coffee nectar. The rich coffee essences from finest Colombian beans. And you'll enjoy regular Jason Sanborn, too, with nectar-rich Colombian beans. Jason Sanborn, fine coffee for 100 years. So when you feel like this,
Completely out of steam.
have a cup of Jason Sanborn.
Wonderful what a cup of Jason Sanborn does for
Preferably decaf. We continue on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Basil Rathbone, Nigel Bruce, The New Adventures of Sherlock Holmes from 81 years ago, March 26, 1945, the Book of Tobit.
This episode from the life of Sherlock Holmes will be transmitted to our men and women overseas by shortwave and through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Petri Wine brings you Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce in The New Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The Petri family, the family that took time to bring you good wine, invites you to listen to Dr. Watson tell us about an exciting adventure he shared with his old friend, that master detective Sherlock Holmes. And so while you're getting comfortable, I'd like to tell you about an old American custom. The custom of serving a glass of sherry wine before dinner. Petri California Sherry. You know, Petri Sherry is to a good meal what the overture is to a good musical comedy or an opera. Before you sit down at the dinner table, just pour yourself a little glass of Petri Sherry and sip it slowly. Look at that beautiful amber color. Smell the fragrance of those sun-ripened grapes. And taste that fine sherry flavor. You'll agree with me, I'm sure, that Petri Sherry is the best beginning a good meal ever had. And say, if you happen to like your sherry dry, as I do, You'll really like Petri Pale Dry Sherry. Believe me, you can't go wrong with any wine that bears the name Petri, the proudest name in the history of American wines. And now let's drop in on the good Dr. Watson, who's waiting for us in his California ranch house. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Mr. Foreman. Come in and make yourself at home.
Thank you, Doctor. Sitting here with the lights off, I see. Have you been getting yourself in the mood for tonight's Sherlock Holmes story?
No, my boy, I was watching the sunset. It's quite a beautiful tonight.
Aye, Doctor, the sun set over an hour ago.
Yes, I know that, young fellow, my lad. I know that. But at my age, a fellow's entitled to take a little snooze after dinner, isn't he?
Of course he is, Doctor. And now that we've settled that, how about tonight's story?
Well, a very beautiful girl figured prominently in this adventure, Mr. Foreman. Her name was Jasmine Lafleur.
Huh? Can you say that again, Doctor, please?
I know, my boy, but that was her stage name. When she was a magician's assistant, unfortunately, I never had the opportunity of seeing Jasmine Lafleur in the theater. But I'm told that she was a fascinating figure in tights and spangles. When Holmes and I first met her, however, she was dressed a little more conventionally. And her name was then Diana Vennering. Lady Vennering.
Lady Vennering? Say, those tights and spangles really paid off, didn't they? Well, how did you and Sherlock Holmes come to meet up with her, Doctor?
In rather spectacular style, Mr. Foreman. Miss Lafleur became something of a femme fatale in the early 1900s. First of all, she married Signor Rossoni, the magician for whom she was working. On the wedding night, he was mysteriously stabbed to death. A few months later, Madame Rossoni, very fetching in her widow's weeds, I'm sure, met Sir Wilfrid Vennering. And, after a whirlwind courtship, she married him.
Don't tell me he got murdered, too.
He did, Mr. Foreman. Also on the night of the wedding. But this time the police found a suspect. It was a certain Major Beckworth, cousin of the dead man, and an ardent suitor of the fair Diana. The trial at the Old Bailey was one of the most sensational I ever remember. Sherlock Holmes and I, in court on the closing day as a jury, were still considering their verdict. Holmes, the jury's been out over 8 hours. I bet you they can't agree on a verdict and there'll be a new trial.
I think not, old chap. Look, here they come now. You know, there's a strong moral probability of guilt, but I'm sure they'll agree that there's insufficient evidence to convict.
Oh, perhaps you're right. Just look at Lady Vennering down there ahead of us. What a stunning woman.
Yes, and a woman of great poise and courage.
Here it comes.
Gentlemen of the jury, have you arrived at a verdict?
We have, my lord.
How say you? Do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Exactly. Come on, Watson. Let's get a breath of fresh air.
Well, I was wondering perhaps if we shouldn't go over and congratulate Lady Vennering.
On what? The fact that our husband's murderer has not been found?
Oh, I suppose you're right.
You ever read the Book of Tobit, Watson?
Tobit? I don't think so. When was it published?
Well, a little before our time, old chap. It's an Old Testament story.
Whatever made you think of it at this moment?
Well, it's so remarkably apposite with the case of Lady Vennering. It deals with a highly peculiar series of murders, 7 of them, if I remember correctly.
Who was the murderer?
A jealous demon by the name of Asmodeus, who strangled husbands on their wedding nights.
Well, judging by the verdict just now, Major Beckworth isn't the Asmodeus, or whatever you call him in this case.
Here you are, boy. Here, give me a paper.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you. The paper!
Well, Holmes, what does it say?
Oh, wait a minute. Here we are. Listen to this. Lady Vennering, widow of the murdered man, says that she will marry the suspect. Lady Vennering told newspaper reporters this afternoon that if Major Beckworth is acquitted, she will marry him before the year is out.
Oh, upon my soul, Holmes, there's a positive sparkle in your eyes. You read about her.
I must admit the lady fascinates me, old chap. I hope before she becomes involved in any further tragedies that we may have the opportunity of meeting her. And something tells me that we will.
The Sunday papers are certainly having a day over the Vennering case, Holmes. Did you read them?
No, I didn't, Watson.
There's a complete life history of Lady Vennering in one of them with photographs. It's rather interesting.
Really?
What are you doing over there, Holmes?
Looking out of the window. Ah, yes.
You expecting anybody home?
No, come over here, old fellow.
Oh, it's a clergyman.
Yes, a very agitated one. Look at the way he's pacing up and down. And looking up at our window, too.
Joe, what eyes?
Yes, there's a fanatical look about him, which suggests either the martyr at the stake or the inquisitor lighting the faggots.
Mrs. Hudson's letting him in now. Well, I'll be interested to know what he's come to us about. I can hear footsteps on the stairs here. I'll go and have a look. How do you do, sir? Come along in, won't you? It's all right, thank you, Mrs. Hudson.
You're Mr. Sherlock Holmes?
I am, sir, and this is my colleague, Dr. Watson.
My name is Whalen, the Reverend Arthur Whalen.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do, sir?
Sit down, won't you, and tell me what I can do for you.
Thank you. Mr. Holmes, this is a very difficult subject to broach. In fact, it's only after intense personal conflict that I've been able to force myself to come to you. May I ask you, are you familiar with the Book of Tobit?
Book of Tobit? Gracious me. You were talking about that yesterday, Holmes.
I see that you've come to consult me about the Veneering case.
But that's amazing. How did you know? Has Lady Veneering been in touch with you?
No, sir, but I'm familiar with the Book of Tobit. And Lady Venering's case closely resembles that of the woman Sarah in the Old Testament story.
More closely than you realize, Mr. Holmes. Did you know that before each one of Lady Venering's husbands was killed, they received a threatening note?
Yes, I recall that from the trial.
Signed in some sort of gibberish, weren't they?
No, Doctor. Yesterday I was permitted for the first time to examine one of these notes. The apparent gibberish was in reality ancient Hebrew writing.
Indeed. Were you able to translate it?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. In effect, it said, if you go through with this marriage, your hours are numbered. And it was signed Asmodeus.
Oh. The name of the jealous demon who strangled husbands in the Book of Tobit.
Exactly.
Just why have you come to me, sir?
I want you to talk to Diana, to Lady Veneering, to tell her she must not go through with this new marriage. Murder is stalking her, Mr. Holmes. I have argued with her, prayed with her, implored her to realize her danger. But she is adamant.
I'm afraid I should feel extremely presumptuous in giving her my advice.
No, Mr. Holmes. I have prepared the way for you. You could, I'm sure, make her realize her danger.
And she's willing to see me, you say?
Willing and anxious.
Oh, very well. But I'd like to ask you a few questions first.
Anything, Mr. Holmes.
What is your interest in her?
She's a member of my flock. She needs my guidance.
Nothing further?
No, Mr. Holmes.
I believe that you performed the marriage ceremony at both of her previous weddings.
Yes.
Are you proposing to officiate the ceremony if she marries Major Beckwith?
Well, I don't know. I'm hoping that marriage will never take place. And so I want you to help me, Mr. Holmes.
Where does the lady live?
47, Berkeley Square.
Very well. Dr. Watson and I will call on her this afternoon.
Delighted to, delighted.
I doubt if I can be there myself. In fact, Diana might speak more freely if I'm not. But here's my card.
Oh, thank you.
You'll know where to get in touch with me if you want to.
Very well, sir.
Good day to you, gentlemen. And I'm greatly in your debt.
Good day, sir, good day. Strange business, Holmes. I can't believe that Mr. Whalen's motives are entirely impersonal.
Nor can I, old chap.
What are you laughing about?
I was thinking of the Book of Tobit, Watson. In that the role of protector, the role I have just been asked to take, was played by the Archangel Raphael. I can't help feeling, Watson, that I'm making distinct strides in my profession.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I'm so glad to meet you.
How do you do, Lady Veneering? May I introduce my old friend, Dr. Watson?
How are you, Dr. Watson?
I'm awfully glad to meet you, Lady Veneering.
Let's sit down, shall we? You're just in time for tea.
Thank you. You know why we're here, of course.
Oh, naturally. Mr. Whalen came round here as soon as he'd left you. You're to persuade me to look after my mortal affairs, while he takes care of my immortal ones. Isn't that it?
He takes well, that's charmingly put, Lady Veneering. Charming.
May I say, Mr. Holmes, that I'm flattered that a man of your eminence should be sufficiently interested to bother about me.
You underestimate your own importance, Lady Veneering. Though I may mention that if your problem had been as simple as Mr. Whalen made it out to be, I might have been otherwise engaged.
You're being very frank and a little mysterious. Are you suggesting that Mr. Whalen didn't tell you everything?
I am. And I hope you will be more candid with me.
Sherlock Holmes, I like you. You're most refreshing. Milk and sugar in your tea?
Just milk, thank you.
Here you are. How about you, Dr. Watson?
Oh, just the same way, please. Hey, thank you, my dear.
And now, Mr. Holmes, perhaps you'll tell me why you think that you haven't been told everything.
Before I answer that, Lady Vennering, I wonder if I might ask you some questions.
But of course. Anything.
When your first husband, Signor Rossoni, was killed, did the police find any suspects?
Yes, one. Ferdinand Gautier, a young man who had been an assistant in our Magician's Act. A stupid, good-looking boy who thought he was in love with me. But of course, Inspector Lestrade had to release him. There was no evidence.
Inspector Lestrade, well, you can bet that if he arrested him, the boy was innocent.
A warning note was found among your husband's effects, wasn't it?
Yes, and it was signed in Hebrew with the name Asmodeus. But perhaps you're not familiar with the Book of Tobit.
Oh, yes, sir, I am. I'm familiar with it, Lady Vennering. How did you know then that the Hebrew letters signified that name?
Mr. Whalen translated them for me.
Oh, I see.
And also read me the Book of Tobit. He's always been particularly fond of that book. Perhaps because it illustrates his own ideas on the dangers of marriage.
Holmes told us that he hadn't seen one of the warning notes until yesterday.
Precisely. Lady Vennering, I read in the papers that you intend to marry Major Beckwith, the man who has just been tried for your late husband's murder.
Yes, Mr. Holmes.
When are you going to marry him, may I ask?
When it pleases me.
Doesn't it occur to you that a great deal of comment will be caused? Also that Major Beckwith's life is in obvious danger?
Of course it occurs to me, my dear man. But because of two tragic marriages, am I to spend the rest of my life alone? As Mr. Whalen would have me do? I'm young, alive. Peter, what are you doing here?
I just arrived back in England today, Diana. What's this I read about you marrying Beckwith?
Peter, I have guests. Mr. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. This is Peter McComas, one of our most promising young painters.
Diana, tell me it isn't true. When I left England, you loved me, and I you. I come back, and what do I find? You're planning to marry Beckwith. Well, I won't stand for it. If you think you can throw me over like some silly boy, you're very much mistaken. I can tell things, you know. I can tell lots of things.
Get out of here, Peter. Get out.
Diana.
And don't come back until you've learned manners and discretion.
But Diana.
Get out. I'm sorry, gentlemen. Were there any more questions you wanted to ask me, Mr. Holmes?
One, Lady Vennering. Where is your fiancé, Major Beckwith?
He's upstairs. I'm letting him stay here until the scandal of the trial has died down.
I must see him at once.
At once? Why, Holmes? He's in no danger until the marriage takes place?
The marriage has taken place, Watson, unless
What?
I'm very much mistaken.
What makes you think so, Mr. Holmes?
You're much too discreet and intelligent, Lady Vennering, to let him stay here in your house unless you were already married.
We were married this morning. But we planned to keep the fact a secret for a few months until the scandal had died down.
May I talk to him, please?
Of course. I'll ring for the butler and ask him to come down.
May I ask, madam, who married you?
The Reverend Arthur Whalen, of course.
Oh, and all the time he talked to us today, he knew perfectly well that this marriage had taken place. He must have just come from it. I don't trust that man, Holmes.
Oh, there you are, Hudson. I just rang for you. Will you ask Major Beckwith?
Excuse me, milady. I was just on my way to telephone the police.
The police? What do you mean?
It's Major Beckwith, milady. He's been stabbed to death in his bath.
Mr. Beckwith murdered, too.
Hudson, I'll telephone the police. By now, I'm rather well acquainted with Inspector Lestrade. Excuse me, gentlemen.
A dreadful business, Holmes. A third husband murdered on his wedding day.
But what a woman, Watson. She's superb, magnificent.
What on earth do you mean, Holmes?
What courage. What unconquerable spirit in the face of a fresh tragedy. Watson, she fascinates me.
I haven't seen such a splendid female since we solved that case for the King of Bohemia.
Dr. Watson's story will continue in just a few seconds. Time enough to remind you that the easiest way to make good food taste better is to serve that good food with a swell Petri wine. And there are two Petri wines in particular just made to go with food. Petri California Sauterne, a delicate white wine with a subtle flavor that's perfect with chicken and fish. And Petri California Burgundy, a hearty, rich red wine that's out of this world with any meat or meat dish. So if you want to know just how good a cook you are, serve your good food with Petri wine made to go with it. A Petri Burgundy or a Petri Sauterne. 2 swell Petri mealtime wines. And now back to tonight's new Sherlock Holmes adventure. The famous detective and his old friend Dr. Watson have become involved in the affairs of thrice-married Diana, one-time magician's assistant. Each of her husbands has been mysteriously murdered on his wedding day, the latest murder occurring on the same day that Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson are brought into the case. As we rejoin our story, it's a month later, and for some obscure reason, Sherlock Holmes seems to have lost interest in the case, though not in the beautiful Diana.
Mr. Holmes. Yes, Lestrade? It's over a month now since Major Beckwith was murdered, and we haven't found a single clue to it.
Do you expect me to supply the deficiencies of Scotland Yard?
Well, it's unlike you not to help us, Mr. Holmes. And after all, you and Dr. Watson were in the house when it happened. If you ask me, the murderer's either McComas, that Irish painter, or the clergyman Whalen. What do you think, sir?
As far as I'm concerned, the case is closed, Lestrade, and I wish you'd stop bothering me. What do you think I am? Nothing but a detecting machine?
Mr. Holmes, whatever's come over you?
Holmes, you're not going out again this evening, are you?
I'm afraid so, old chap.
Well, this will be the 4th night in a row. I was hoping that we might have a nice, quiet evening in front of the fire.
Oh, I'm sorry, Watson, but I promised to take Diana to the horse show at Olympia. I should be home by midnight.
Mr. Holmes.
Yes, Mr. Whalen?
You're seeing altogether too much of Diana. She seems to be completely under your spell.
But you introduced me to her in the first place, with the request that I keep an eye on her.
I made a great mistake. As her spiritual protector, I'm afraid I must ask you to stop seeing her.
I'm afraid I must ask you, sir, to mind your own business.
I say, Holmes, have you seen in the paper that violinist, Isaiah, is playing at the Albert Hall tonight?
No, I haven't looked at the paper today.
Oh, I thought perhaps that we might go along and see
I'm
together.
afraid I can't, old chap. No, I'm taking Diana to the French Maid at Delius Theatre. I hear it's a charming musical comedy.
Look here, Holmes. We've been friends for a good many years now.
Very true, old fellow.
And I think I'm entitled to speak to you straight from the shoulder.
Of course you are, Watson.
Very well, then. This Diana Beckworth.
Oh.
Yes, it's your own business, I suppose, but I can't bear to see her making such a fool of you. You've neglected your work entirely since you met her. You get about as though you were a young fellow of 20. What's come over you, Holmes?
Stop pacing about, old chap, will you, and sit down. In fact, it might be a good idea if you fortified yourself with a nip of brandy from the Tantalus there. What I'm about to tell you may be something of a shock. Watson, Diana and I are getting married tomorrow.
What did you say, Holmes?
I'm getting married tomorrow.
But you're insane.
Oh, that's not very flattering, Watson. Anyway, I don't see why you should be so surprised. You yourself married and left Baker Street once, didn't you?
For you, Holmes, a confirmed woman
Oh,
hater.
no, my dear Watson. No, indeed, no. You will remember in our adventure that you titled A Scandal in Bohemia, I met a lady that I have often referred to as the woman.
You mean Irene Adler, but she was a criminal.
Exactly, and yet Diana has the same magnificent characteristics. Keen intelligence, courage, and unconquerable spirit.
But Holmes, 3 of her husbands murdered on their wedding nights. You're proposing to be the 4th.
Oh, rubbish, my dear fellow, because tragedy has attended her previous marriages. Is she to go through life alone?
Holmes, you really mean it, don't you?
Of course I do.
I think I will have a nip of brandy.
Oh, don't take it so badly, old fellow. We'll continue to see a lot of each other. Diana's very fond of you, you know.
Oh, well, I'm glad. Who's going to perform the ceremony? Not the Reverend Mr. Whalen?
Oh, no. We decided, in view of Diana's previous marriages, that he might prove to be a trifle, unlucky. A clergyman named Vernet will officiate. Whalen, of course, insists on being present just the same.
What time is the wedding tomorrow?
2 o'clock, old fellow. Oh, I should have mentioned this before. I hope your cutaway coat and top hat are in a good state of preservation. You'll be a pretty prominent figure at the ceremony, you know.
You mean that...
Well, I mean that if Sherlock Holmes gets married, who else could be his best man but his old friend, Dr. Watson? It's elementary, my dear fellow, elementary.
I now pronounce man and wife, and those whom God hath joined together, let no man put asunder.
Diana, I'm going to claim the privilege of the best man and give you a kiss.
Of course you shall, Doctor.
Joe Holmes, you're a devilish lucky fellow.
Of course I am, old chap.
Sherlock, I'm going upstairs to change my dress now.
Very well, Diana. I'll be up shortly.
I'll see you later, Dr. Watson.
Very well, Mrs. Holmes. Holmes, I never thought I'd live to say that.
Watson, old fellow, I'm worried.
Worried today? Oh, my dear fellow, what's the matter?
Well, just before the ceremony, I received one of those warning notes signed by Asmodeus.
Oh, you better be careful, Holmes.
I think I'll slip out and have a pipe or two on the matter. Yes. Look after my guests for me, will you? And keep your eyes open. And your ears.
Yes, I will indeed. There you are, Mr. Whalen. Would you care for a glass of champagne or punch or something or other?
Thank you, no, Doctor. I'm in no mood for celebration. I'm certain that Diana has made a shocking mistake.
Well, really, sir, I don't think...
I only came here in a last-minute attempt to dissuade her. Now that I've failed, I shall leave. Good day, sir.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Watson?
Oh, hello, McComas.
Where's Mr. Holmes?
We'll be back in a few minutes. Would you care for a glass of champagne, sir?
Well, thank you. I should like to drink a toast to the pair. I've been in love with Diana for years, you know, but she wouldn't marry me, and well, I suppose I might as well make the best of it. I must say your friend Sherlock Holmes seems like a splendid fellow.
He is indeed, McComas. In fact, I may say... What? Excuse me, sir. All right, Holmes, I'm coming. Up here. What on earth's the matter, Holmes?
Follow me, lock the door behind you. Allow me to introduce you to the demon Asmodeus, Watson. Unfortunately, at the moment, she's in a faint.
Good Lord.
It's Diana. Exactly. Always an impetuous woman, she made the mistake of trying to stab me with that knife. So I bent over to strap up a suitcase. She didn't allow for the wall mirror in which I was watching her.
You mean you suspected her all along?
Of course I did, old fellow. The problem was to find the proof. I first suspected her when I knew that she had been a magician's assistant. The key to the profession of magic is misdirection, and these murders have been a perfect example of misdirection of motive.
How do you mean, Holmes?
Well, by creating a... Thanks to the well-meaning stories of the Reverend Mr. Whalen, whose theological libraries she must have copied the Hebrew signature. She focused the murders on jealousy, concealing the fact that the one person with a perfect motive was herself, the widow who was to inherit.
Oh, why hasn't she been caught before?
Because she was clever, devilishly clever. She left no clues except an indirect one that I had once spotted, that the likeliest person to be able to approach a bridegroom unsuspected and stab him is his bride. And now I wish you'd see if you can revive her, old fellow. When the police get here, I should like Mrs. Holmes to be in full possession of all her faculties.
Well, Holmes, I must say I never expected to be driving back with you to Baker Street on your wedding day. I can't tell you how happy I feel.
Dear old Watson, you really thought that I deserted you, didn't you?
Oh, naturally, I wish you'd told me the truth.
Well, I couldn't tell anyone, not even you. If the faintest shadow of suspicion had entered her mind, I'd never have caught her.
Well, it seems to me you paid a pretty high price, Holmes. You told me you made a will in her favor. Supposing something happens to you before her trial, she'd get the money, you know.
Oh, the will? Oh, no, that was worthless. I told Diana that it was a holographic will and perfectly valid.
Well, what on earth is a holographic...
A will drawn up in one's own handwriting on a piece of perfectly plain paper. Such a document is quite legal, but I drew mine up on a paper with a letterhead. That made it invalid.
Oh, I see, but the fact remains that you are married, Holmes.
I really fooled you completely, didn't I, Watson? Didn't the name of the clergyman who married us suggest anything to you?
The Reverend Vernet? No, and why not should it?
Well, Vernet was a French painter of some note. He also happens to have been a great uncle of mine and, Mycroft's.
You mean that your brother Mycroft was a clergyman?
I mean that Mycroft was disguised as a clergyman. And a very convincing job he did, too. A more satisfactory clergyman than the Reverend Mr. Whalen, no doubt, whose possible complicity may compel him to answer some very awkward questions.
Then you're not married. Well, upon my soul, Holmes, I don't know what to say.
Then I suggest that you say nothing, my dear chap. Let's just sit back quietly, as two good friends can, and brood about the mutability of human affairs.
Well, Well, Doctor, tonight's adventure was really a little extraordinary, to say the least. Holmes sure had a narrow escape.
Doubly narrow, Mr. Foreman, doubly narrow. He not only escaped the jaws of death, but he also escaped the clutches of matrimony. Actually, the story had a happy ending for everybody but Lady Veneering. Jasmine Lafleur.
What about that artist fellow, McComas? How did he take it?
Oh, very well indeed. In fact, in gratitude, he even painted Holmes's portrait. Not exactly a good likeness, though. One of those modern artists who paints impressions of a person rather than a portrait.
What do you mean?
Well, now, let me see. If he were to paint his impression of you, you'd probably end up by looking like a bottle of Petri wine in a sports jacket.
Go ahead, Doctor. You can tease me all you want. I'll still rave about Petri wine. And why not? The facts bear me out that Petri wine most certainly is good wine. After all, the Petri family knows all there is to know about the art of turning plump, sun-ripened grapes into fragrant, delicious wine. That's because they've been making wine for generations, ever since they started the Petri business way back in the 1800s. And because the making of Petri wine is a family affair, the family has been able to hand down from father to son, all their skill and knowledge and experience. And believe me, that adds up to plenty. So no matter what type of wine you prefer, one to serve with meals or a wine for any special occasion, choose one of the fine Petri wines. You can't miss, because Petri took time to bring you good wine. And now, Dr. Watson, what story do you have lined up for us next week?
Well, now, let me see, Mr. Foreman. I'm going to tell you about a strange adventure that began by my taking a wild cab ride through the moonlit streets of London and ended with Holmes and me being trapped in a luxuriously furnished cellar below a furniture warehouse down by the waterfront.
Tonight's Sherlock Holmes adventure is written by Dennis Green and Anthony Boucher and is based on an incident in the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle story, The Adventure of Shoscombe Old Place. Mr. Rathbone appears through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and Mr. Bruce through the courtesy of Universal Pictures, where they are now starring in the Sherlock Holmes series. The Petri Wine Company of San Francisco, California, invites you to tune in again next week, same time, same station.
Oh, the Petri family took the time to bring you such good wine. So when you eat and when you cook, remember Petri wine.
To make good food better, remember...
Petri wine.
This is Bill Foreman saying goodnight for the Petri family. Sherlock Holmes comes to you from our Hollywood studios. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
And there you have it, the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes. A little noisy one, sorry about that. 81 years ago, March 26, 1945, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Let's take a look at what's coming up the week ahead. Coming up on our Friday show, we will have 3 Westerns, Reed Hadley in Frontier Town, William Conrad in Gunsmoke, and John Daner in Have Gun Will Travel, and an episode of Escape. The Diamond as Big as the Ritz. I believe, and no, I'm wrong. I was going to say this was the first adaptation of the F. Scott Fitzgerald short story. But in fact, I think it was adapted earlier for Orson Welles' program This Is My Best. But I may be wrong about that. I know it was adapted for This Is My Best, but I'm not sure which was earlier or later. But in any event, it's a good play. Now, coming up on Saturday, we'll have a Jack Benny doubleheader. We will hear, speaking of Welles, Orson Welles will be sitting in for Jack Benny from 1943, and probably the most infamous Jack Benny program, Your Money or Your Life. And we'll follow that up with an episode of the Lux Radio Theater, Lawrence Tibbett, Helen Jepson, in a 1938 broadcast, Naughty Marietta. On Sunday, we'll have Big Town, starring William Pawley, The Mysterious Traveler, Death Has a Cold Breath, and we will have a 1954 production of the Lux Radio Theater, Blueprint for Murder. On Monday, more crime and drama, with an episode of suspense from 1944, Cat and Mouse, Nero Wolfe, starring Sidney Greenstreet, The Case of the Telltale Ribbon, Lights Out, Money, 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 and The Whistler, Homecoming. We haven't had a Whistler episode for a while. We'll get back to comedy on Tuesday with George and Gracie, Bud and Lou, Charlie McCarthy, and the CBS Radio Workshop production of A Dog's Life. Not strictly comedy, but I think you'll find it fun. On Wednesday, we'll go spend 90 minutes with Tallulah Bankhead, Groucho Marx, Bob Hope, and more on the 1951 Big Show. And then Amos and Andy from 1947 as the boys end up with a parking lot. A week from today, we will have more drama. Bob Bailey, Virginia Gregg, Let George Do It from 1951. Edward Arnold as Mr. President, a president of the United States, but we don't know until the very end which one, unless you're smart. Lon Clark as Nick Carter, Master Detective, 8 Records of Death, and another episode of Sherlock Holmes with Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce. That's a week ahead here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Anytime online at classicradio.stream. And you go to classicradio.stream to find a whole bunch of ways to support the podcast. Coming up next, Did Justice Triumph?
When it's time to take time out for some refreshment, choose the coolest drink that's ever come to town. Dr. Pepper is the friendly pepper-upper, and it never, never, ever lets you down. When the party needs a friendly pepper-upper, Dr. Pepper is the drink to pass around. Dr. Pepper is the friendly pepper-upper, and it never, never, ever lets you down. Gather round and have a frosty Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is the coolest drink in town. Dr. Pepper is the friendly pepper-upper, and it never, never, ever lets you down.
Frosty, man, frosty.
Did Justice Triumph was a Jock McGregor program put together for Mutual. It ran Wednesdays from at 10 p.m., and it ran from January of 1947 to September of 1947. And we have a few episodes of the program. Jerry Hinchey tells us it was a typical Jock McGregor program. The interesting part is that the show was narrated by George Putnam. George Putnam would become a television newscaster out in Los Angeles. And then he would become a radio talk show host until his passing. Let's listen to Did Justice Triumph? This episode, 79 years ago, March 26, 1947, The Mastermind of Murder.
Did justice triumph?
In the death file at police headquarters, there was an identification card which read,
Name, Charles Sandberg. Age, 42 years. Cause of death, 38 caliber revolver bullet in stomach. Classification, homicide. Investigation, proceeding.
Did justice triumph in this case? You will hear the answer tonight as the Mutual Broadcasting System brings you another thrilling case from the files of True Justice Stories. These real stories of the law pitted against evil and corruption and presented in all their dramatic intensity so that you may comprehend more fully the vast mechanism of justice in the pursuit of its duty toward the public. Though the names and places mentioned in these broadcasts are wholly fictitious, these are real crimes by real people, based on the famous True Justice Stories appearing each week in the New York Sunday News and its syndicate. Tonight's drama, Mastermind of Death. Charles Sandberg, the victim in tonight's actual murder case, was 42 years old, a good age, when a man's just about beginning to gather in the fruits of his labor. And any one of the many people who knew Charlie will tell you that he could have counted on at least 20 years more of active living. For his health was sound, and his occupation, that of a postal clerk, was well suited to his character, a pleasant blend of good cheer, courage, and conscientiousness. Why did he need justice? We shall see. Our story begins one October day in Suite 1210 of Detroit's Spireview Hotel. A tall, distinguished-appearing man pushes aside the Scotty dog he's holding and rises to answer a knock on his door.
Hello, Harry.
Oh, hello, Mr. Bronson.
Come on in.
Oh, sure. Hey, hi there, Scotty. Hey, come here, boy. Come here. Sit up. Hello, boy.
Take a chair, Harry, and leave the dog alone.
Oh, sure. Say, what's on your mind today, Mr. Bronson?
First, Harry, did anyone see you come up here?
Oh, not a soul. I came up the usual way. I ducked in the side door of the hotel and walked up.
Good. I'd rather not have the hotel employees know that Howard S. Bronson is receiving an ex-jailbird as a visitor. No offense meant to you, Harry. Just a statement of fact.
Oh, sure. I know. Boss, I don't know how you do it.
Do what, Harry?
Why, I read in the morning paper you're entertaining the mayor and some of the other bigwigs of the town at your home tonight for dinner. What a smooth operator you are.
You know, Harry, it's a great pleasure. A downright delight to listen to some of those important citizens discuss the robberies that have been occurring in our fair city.
Hey, that must be rich.
It is, definitely. Of course, the major part of the discussion centers around the topic of the leader of the gang, the mastermind behind the whole thing.
And there you are, the mastermind. The very guy they're talking about sitting right under their blue noses all the time. Boy, what a setup.
All right, Harry. Let's get down to business.
Okay, boss.
I have a plan set up that should net us easily a cool 100,000.
100,000 bucks? Boy, lead me to it.
Wait a minute. First, let me get at some of the details. To begin with, we need only 2 men to pull the job.
2 men, uh-huh.
Can you get them? 2 efficient men?
Yeah, I think I can. Stu Holmes and Jeff Connors just got out of stir. They're looking for work, both of them.
Good. Remember, Harry, handle them in the usual manner. You negotiate with just one of them. Make arrangements for that one to negotiate with the other.
Oh, sure, I know. The fewer people who know that I'm in on the job, the less likely anybody's to suspect you're masterminding the whole thing, eh?
Yes, a necessary precaution, Harry.
Oh, sure. Look, I'll talk to Jeff Connors, and I'll let him hire Stu.
Excellent. Come out to my house afterward and let me know how you made out.
Okay. Hey, but look, what if your fancy party's still going on?
Well, if it is, wait outside in the car until the guests have left.
Oh, check. Okay, now, give it to me, boss. What's the setup, huh?
We're going to manipulate a mail robbery, Harry. The biggest mail robbery ever attempted in the United States. The robbery will take place at the Railroad Terminal Post Office Wednesday night at 7 o'clock.
Well, it's almost 7 o'clock, Mabel. How are you coming?
I just this minute finished, Mr. Sandberg.
Good.
I don't believe we've ever handled such a load of registered mail before.
Well, not such a valuable shipment, anyway. You know what's in those packages, don't you? Government bonds and negotiable securities.
Yes, sir. Is it going out on the 710?
That's right. I'll be glad to get her off our hands, too. Here, don't lift that pouch. Give it to me. You close the windows for the night.
All right.
Oh, well, that must be the boys for the load. A couple of minutes early.
Oh, I'll let them in.
Stick 'em up, sister.
What?
You heard him. Put your hands up.
Mr. Sandberg!
What's the idea?
This is a stick-up, mister. Reach for the ceiling.
Now, you get out of here.
Stand right where you are, you two, and nobody will get hurt.
Now, get away from those mail bags. They're government property.
Keep your hands off me. Let go.
Mr. Sandberg, stop it. Let them take it.
Not the United States mail, I won't.
I'll plug if you don't take your hands off me.
You're not going to take those mail bags?
No.
Mr. Sandberg!
Quick, grab the bags and let's get out of here.
You are listening to a reenactment of one of the most daring mail robberies ever perpetrated in this country. Mail clerk Charles Sandberg, a bullet through his stomach, lies unconscious on the registry room floor. His crumpled body mute evidence of his loyalty in defending his trust. With Sandberg out of the way, it's an easy matter for the masked criminals to scoop up the prized bags of registered mail and disappear. But in less than 5 minutes, an alarm is given and the police arrive on the scene. The woman clerk gives them a brief and confused description of the hold-up men, and the wheels of justice begin to turn. Now, Lieutenant Beach and Sergeant Johnson are questioning a man who was passing by on the street at the time of the robbery and the shooting.
Sergeant, take down this witness testimony, too.
Right, Lieutenant.
You say your name is Lane?
That's right. I live at 2122 Forest Drive. I just happened to be walking past the post office on my way to the restaurant, and then I loitered for a bit.
Uh-huh. Why, Mr. Lane?
Well, there was a gentleman right out in front of a building airing his Scotty dog. Scotties happen to be my hobby.
Yes, Mr. Lane, go on.
Well, I went up to pet the dog. He sat up for me. Just snapped my fingers and he sat up. Cute little fella. His master wasn't half as friendly. He didn't seem to want me talking to his dog.
What did he look like, the man with the Scotty?
Oh, good-looking, well-dressed. I'd say he was about 50, and his face seemed familiar somehow. Lieutenant, you don't want me to put this down, do you? Witness sees man with Scotty dog at time of robbery. That don't make sense.
Anything makes sense, Sergeant, when you're dealing with a robbery and shooting as slick as this one.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Lane, what else did you see or hear?
Well, I heard a couple of shots. Then I saw 2 men running out of the front door of the post office. They were masked, so I didn't see their faces. They jumped in a touring car standing at the curb.
Did you notice the license number of the car?
Oh, it was too dark to see, but the car had yellow wheels. I'm sure of that. A dark-colored touring car with yellow wheels.
Good. That information ought to help. Now, one thing more. What direction were they heading in?
Oh, they headed up the street and turned north on the detour that leads to the state highway.
I see. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Lane. You've helped a great deal.
Oh, I'm always glad to do anything I can, officer. Get in touch with me if you need me.
Right.
Well, what do you think now, Lieutenant? Still think this job was masterminded by the same guy that's been pulling the other stick-ups?
I don't know, Sergeant.
It couldn't be. These stick-up guys left a trail behind them. A car with yellow wheels. The mastermind's never been known to give us any evidence like that.
All I know is we've got to intercept that touring car.
That may be kind of tough.
Maybe. But that witness was probably right. Those men were undoubtedly headed for the state highway. We'll send out a blanket alarm to every town and village within 200 miles of Detroit to pick them up.
Harry, aren't we getting fairly near the rendezvous spot you picked out to meet your 2 men?
Yes, we are, Mr. Bronson.
You're sure nobody tailed them out of town?
Now, look, Mr. Bronson, it was my job to see that nobody followed them, and I did it.
Yes, you're pretty reliable, Harry. I guess I needn't have worried.
I told you that while they were making their getaway, I stayed right behind their touring car so nobody could get between us until they got to the highway here.
Fine. And I kept watch to be sure the coast was clear out in front of the post office. That was a good plan I worked out. Giving my dog an airing right in front of the post office so I could keep an eye on what went on.
Yeah, sure was, Mr. Bronson.
Don't we take this turn off the highway here, Harry?
Oh, yeah, and right down this side road a couple of miles. That's where Jeff and Stu will be waiting.
I don't want them to see me.
Oh, they won't, boss. They won't. Okay, you stay right in the car, and I'll get the mail bags from them.
You've warned them about laying low and keeping out of town, haven't you?
Well, they're heading right on out from here, going to Grand Rapids. And they won't be back until the payoff. Boy, I can't wait to get my hands on some of that dough, boss. I just can't wait.
Lieutenant Beach.
Yes, Sergeant. Come on in.
The hospital just called. Charlie Sandberg died a few minutes ago.
I see. That's too bad.
So now it's murder.
Yeah. Robbery and murder. Well, we got to work fast on this one, Sergeant. The mayor and the newspapers are already hounding us.
I heard about that.
We can't let the crooks get away with this one, or the whole police department will look silly. We've got to show them some action. Now, I have a special job I want you to do. it, Harry? What's the matter with his car?
Oh, she just isn't running so good, Mr. Bronson.
Can't you do something about it?
I don't know what to do. She's quit altogether.
Of all the stupid, idiotic...
Look, I can't help it, Mr. Bronson. If she don't run, she don't run, that's all.
Well, do something. Make it run. We've got to get back to Detroit.
I know.
We've got that suitcase full of registered mail in the rear. We can't just sit on the highway here like ducks waiting to be shot.
Look, Mr. Bronson, if I knew the least thing about a car, believe me, I'd do something, but I don't.
No, neither do I. I guess we'll just have to wait until somebody comes along.
Yeah. Hey, wait. There's a pair of headlights coming this way now.
Good. Get out and hail them, Harry.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that looks like a police car coming. Yeah, it is. It's a Detroit police car.
Good heavens.
Hey, they're slowing down. Hey, they're going to stop here. What do we do?
Keep calm, Harry. I'll handle this.
Hey, you. What's the idea of parking on the highway?
Good evening, officer.
Oh, Mr. Bronson. I didn't recognize you at first. My name's Olson, Sergeant Olson.
Yes, I believe I saw you at headquarters when I went there last week with the mayor's delegation.
That's right, Mr. Bronson. I saw you, too.
Well, it's certainly fortunate for us that you happened along. Our car's broken down.
Oh, say, that's too bad.
Do you suppose you could give us a tow into town?
Oh, I'm afraid I can't do that, Mr. Bronson.
Can't, Sergeant? Well, that's not a very wise attitude on your part, refusing to assist Howard as Bronson.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but, I'm on special duty out here. There's been a robbery in town.
Robbery? Another one?
Yeah, robbery and murder. They stuck up the post office and killed one of the clerks.
Good heavens. Can't you police officers put a stop to these crimes?
We're trying our best, Mr. Bronson. That's why I'm out here, as I said. We think the killers escaped over this highway, and I'm checking with all the men on patrol. Well, otherwise, I'd be glad to tow you to town.
Well, we can't just sit here the rest of the night.
I'll tell you what, sir. I'll stop at the nearest gas station and telephone into a garage to send out a tow for you.
That's fine. Splendid cooperation from the police force. I'll have to speak to the mayor on your behalf, Olson.
Lieutenant Beach calling car 22. Lieutenant Beach calling car 22.
Car 22, Sergeant Olson.
Sergeant, I just had a call from Grand Rapids Police on that alarm we sent out. They spotted the car with the yellow wheels on a side road.
Did they get them?
Well, they pursued them. In the getaway, the touring car was going too fast to make a sharp curve. It turned over.
Well, what happened to the men?
One of them was killed. The other one they're holding. He says his name's Stuart Holmes. Now, I want you and one of your patrolmen to head for Grand Rapids right away.
Right, Lieutenant.
I'll be here at headquarters waiting for you. Bring Holmes in as quick as you can.
This is a real case of real crime, a crime that was headlined throughout the nation for its daring and cunning. At this point in the case, the police have brought Stuart Holmes back to Detroit. He is questioned and cross-questioned all that night and half the next day. For the law believed this crime, as many others before it, was planned by a master criminal. And that is the man they seek above all others. But so far, Stuart Holmes professes to have no knowledge of any other hand in the crime but his own and Jeff Connor's. Holmes denies he killed the postal clerk, Charlie Sandberg, and his testimony is borne out by the other postal employee who witnessed the crime. Thus, justice, though forging ahead in one direction, seems no nearer than before to the real solution of the crime. The next day, in his suite in the Hotel Spireview, Mr. Bronson attempts to smooth down his slightly belligerent guest, his sidekick, Harry.
Look, I tell you, Mr. Bronson, you're pretty smooth, but I don't like the idea of stashing all that dough away in your own house.
No, Harry. I've handled everything pretty well so far, haven't I?
Yeah, but half of that dough is in negotiable bonds. If anybody finds them, they're sure to be...
Don't worry, nobody'll find them. Not where I hid them.
Look, what about your wife?
Don't worry about her either. I hid the whole business in a rusty old stove on the back porch. Nobody's been near that stove for years, let alone my wife.
Well, okay. I guess it's all right. But look, what about Stu Holmes?
Well, what about him?
Well, didn't you read the morning paper, boss? The police have got him.
Harry, it's easy to see why you'll never reach my eminence as a master of criminal procedure.
Oh, come on, cut it out, will you, Mr. Bronson?
No offense meant, Harry. But stop to think a minute. Think what it means to us for the police to have apprehended Stu Holmes.
I have, and I don't like it. Look, I'm scared on this deal.
There's where you're wrong. And I'll tell you why. You contacted only Connors, right?
Yeah?
And Connors contacted Holmes.
That's right.
Well, think. Connors is dead. That means that Holmes has no idea who you are or who your superior in business might be.
Hey, that's right. Boy, we're lucky it was Holmes the police got instead of Connors, huh? Hey, that means we're safe.
It means more than that, Harry.
Huh? What?
Look at it this way. Stu Holmes doesn't even know who we are, and we've got the money. All of it.
Yeah, I get it. We don't have to share it. We can keep it all for ourselves.
That's right, Harry. We can keep it all for ourselves.
Come on, Holmes. Lieutenant, here's Holmes again.
Oh, good.
Look, Lieutenant, ain't you guys shot enough questions at me?
Take a chair, Holmes. Relax.
Okay.
Holmes, you're holding out on us. Who else was in on this deal with you and Jeff Connors?
I told you before, I don't know.
Well, tell us again what happened after you made the getaway from the post office. Sergeant, check this with your previous notes.
Yes, sir.
All right, come on, Holmes. Give us the story again.
We turned off the highway down a side road. We stopped about 2 miles down. Jeff got out with the mail bags.
Yes?
He got out to meet somebody and gave him the bags.
Who was that somebody?
Oh, I tell you, I don't know. I couldn't see his face in the dark. All I know is Jeff said it was the same guy who contacted him in the first place and gave him the layout for the stick-up.
You never laid eyes on that man?
No, and I don't know his name.
Well, Lieutenant, it checks. No more, no less.
Well, we've got to get a lead on that man. Stu, you never liked it much in stir, did you?
You kidding?
But that's where you're going again, Stu. And quite likely to get a fairly long stretch. And what'll you get out of it?
I'll get my share of the dough someday.
How can you? You say you don't even know the man's name?
I got ways of finding out once I get out of stir.
Look, Stu. You don't really think he's going to protect your share, stash it away for you, and then give it up when he doesn't have to, do you? You know crooks better than that, Stu.
That's a chance I gotta take.
But you're taking the rap on this whole deal. You're the fall guy.
Yeah. Well, what am I supposed to do about that?
Well, it's barely possible you could get off with a lighter sentence on this crime. If you make your memory tick a little. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe. But I ain't got much to trade.
Every little bit counts in a case like this.
Maybe what I know don't mean nothing.
We'll judge that. What is it?
Well, Tuesday, me and Jeff were driving around town. We passed a certain house. Jeff kind of stared at the house as we drove by, and I wondered if he was casing it.
Well?
When I asked him, he got sore. Told me to mind my own business. And then I got sore. And I told him I didn't want no part of the post office setup. He got kind of scared I was going to run out on him. Time was short, and he didn't have time to get nobody else to help him out on the job. So he kind of opened up and told me a few things.
Now you're talking, Stu.
No, he didn't tell me the name of the guy who contacted him. He just said this. The afternoon the guy contacted him, he followed him.
Jeff trailed him? What for?
Well, Jeff says he got the nutty idea there was somebody else, some big shot in the setup. So he trailed this guy who contacted him, and he went to that house.
You know this big shot's name?
No, Jeff wouldn't tell me.
Where's this house located? What street?
I don't know.
You don't know?
All I know is it was a house on a street that begins with a J.
Oh, Lieutenant, there are a dozen streets in Detroit that begin with J.
Well, we can't let that stop us. Stu, I'm going to put you in a squad car with a couple of my men. The sergeant and I will be right behind you in another car. You're going to be driven up and down every street in this city, beginning with the letter J, until you identify that house.
Well, Lieutenant, this is it. The house Stu Holmes pointed out.
All right, let's go in.
Hey, Lieutenant. Look. At that nameplate stuck on the lawn.
Howard S. Bronson.
Stu Holmes is giving us the runaround.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I don't know quite what to do now. Bronson's a big man around this town. He could make it pretty hot for us if we're making a mistake.
He sure could. Bronson's smooth on top, but hard underneath. I found that out last night when he wanted me to tow him in off the highway.
What's that, Sergeant?
Oh, Bronson was stuck out on the highway last night. He and some other fellow. The car broke down. Practically said I'd be dismissed from the force unless I abandoned my job and towed him in.
I see.
Never occurred to me to report it to you. After all, Howard S. Bronson.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Come on, Sergeant. I'm going to take a chance. We're going in. Keep your fingers crossed and pray we aren't stepping on the wrong person's toes.
Yes?
Mrs. Bronson?
Yes.
I'm Lieutenant Beach from headquarters. This is Sergeant Olson.
Oh, did you want to see my husband?
Well, we'd like to step in for a moment, if you don't mind.
Oh, of course. Come in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was just going to say that my husband isn't here. He's conducting his business from Spireview Hotel. That is, what there is of it, since he sold out the department store.
Well, maybe you can give us some information.
I'm not the one who's so deep in civic affairs. It's my husband, you know, but I'll be glad to tell you anything I can, if you'll just sit down and excuse me a moment.
Thank you.
I want to speak to my cook about something.
We sure did it this time, Lieutenant. We're in the soup. Bronson's no more in on those stick-ups than I am.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're right. I'll have to figure a fast line of talk to explain our presence here. I think that... Hey, Sergeant.
What?
Look at that pooch in the next room.
Yeah, cute-looking dog.
It's a Scotty. Here, come here, fella. Come here. Come on, Scotty, come here. Atta boy. Now, sit up. Sit up.
Say, isn't he cute sitting up there?
That does it, Sergeant.
Huh?
That Scotty cinches it. We're going to search this house from top to bottom, and I don't care whose toes we step on.
Harry, I've something to tell you. Something that's been on my mind for several days now.
Yeah, boss? Is it good?
Well, that's all in the way you look at it.
Oh, what do you mean?
Harry, I'm going to quit.
What?
Yes, I figure I've just about reached the peak. Manipulated a good many clever robberies, and then topped them off with the smartest one of them all. The mail stick-up.
But, boss, you can't run out on me.
You're well fixed, Harry. You can afford to take a vacation yourself. You've got quite a lot of cash. When this blows over, when it's safe to sell those bonds, you'll be a rich man. Really rich.
Yeah, but I don't like the idea of you quitting the game cold.
Harry, the game's lost its flavor. I got quite a kick out of it for a long time, but now, well, it's just routine. I know that no matter what we undertake, we'll get away with it.
That's just the point. That's why... You're expecting someone, Mr. Bronson?
No, I don't believe so.
Well, don't answer it, then.
What's the matter, Harry? I'm not hiding from anyone. I conduct all my business from here. Of course, we'll answer the door. I'll do it myself.
Okay, boss.
Mr. Bronson, you're under arrest.
Well, of all the unmitigated
Sergeant,
gall...
keep that fellow sitting in the chair covered.
If he moves an inch, I'll be happy to let him have it.
I demand to know what this is all about.
I think you do know, Mr. Bronson. We have pretty definite proof that you masterminded the post office robbery. And probably a whole lot of others around this town.
I'll have you broken from the force for this.
You acted as lookout during the stick-up. We have a witness who's ready to identify you as walking back and forth outside the post office with your dog at the time of the robbery.
That doesn't prove anything.
Maybe not. But I think the bonds and registered mail we found hidden in a stove on the back porch of your home means a whole lot.
I told you shouldn't keep them there. I told you should hide them somewhere else.
I had nothing to do with it. I don't know how the things got there. I demand
Mr.
that
Bronson, you have your chance to tell your story to the court. Right now, both you and your sidekick are under arrest. I'm booking you on charge of robbery and murder.
Justice moved swiftly in this real case of a real crime. Federal indictments for robbery were returned against the mastermind, Howard S. Bronson. and his associate in crime, Harry Sims. For robbing the United States mail, both men were sentenced to serve 25 years each behind the bars of a federal prison. Stuart Holmes, for assisting the authorities, received leniency and drew only a 10-year term. But the punishment of the egocentric Bronson did not stop there. He was also tried before the people for the murder of Charles Sandburg. Justice decreed that Howard S. Bronson should never again walk as a free man. And so it is that now at police headquarters, the death card on Charles Sandburg has been removed from the active file and marked Case Closed.
Justice has triumphed.
This has been a reenactment of an actual murder case, though the names of all persons, characters, and places heard on this program are entirely fictitious, and any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Next week, at the same time, we'll present another famous true justice story, a dramatization of another of the Did Justice Triumph series, appearing each week in the New York Sunday News and its syndicate. These programs are produced and directed by Jock McGregor. Stories are dramatized by Barth Conray, and your narrator is George Carson Putnam. The part of Howard Bronson was played by Guy Sorrell. Ralph Camargo was Lieutenant Beach. John McQuaid played Harry Sims. John Kane, Sergeant Olson. Bill Quinn, Stuart Holmes. Rock Rogers, Jeff Connors. And Bryna Rayburn, Mrs. Bronson. The orchestra, conducted by Emerson Buckley, played music written especially for this program by Richard DuPage. Carl Caruso speaking. Are you aware that the Red Cross provides 22 major services to servicemen, veterans, and civilians? Do you know that veterans trying to take their rightful places as civilians look to the Red Cross for help? That wounded men and women, and men who will never recover from wounds, that 2 million of the armed forces still in uniform, that displaced persons and disaster victims all look to this great social agency for aid and hope. Do you know that Red Cross volunteer nurses' aides are found in short-staffed military and civilian hospitals? That Red Cross nutrition courses are given for homemakers on limited budgets? That Red Cross training is given in home nursing? And that there is mother and baby care for all who want it? I think you know the answer now. Give gladly. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Putnam did radio in Minneapolis, in Washington, D.C., at WJSV, which became the big CBS, which was the big CBS owned and operated station in Washington, and later went to New York City, which was where he did these shows, no doubt, through Mutual. And then he moved to Los Angeles in 1951, working in television there, and stayed in television on all of the independent stations all the way through 1976. At that time, he moved to radio, where he started doing a talk show and was on radio from 1976 all the way until, just before his passing at the age of 94 in 2008. George Putnam, with the narrator for Did Justice Triumph, a one-season show on Mutual, 79 years ago, March 26, 1947. Coming up next, Gerald Mohr in The Adventures of Philip Marlowe from 1949 and The Green Flame.
How do you fresh up?
How do you think? Fresh up with 7-Up, the all-family drink. Fresh up with 7-Up, 7-Up, 7-Up. Big folks, small folks, all folks do. Fresh up with 7-Up, 7-Up, 7-Up. You like it, it likes you. 7-Up, 7-Up, 7-Up. 7-Up, 7-Up, 7-Up.
Hey there, gang, it's picnic weather.
Outdoor cooking's fun to eat while you munch that lunch together. Have yourselves a fresh up treat. Fresh up, 7-Up, 7-Up, 7-Up. Big folks, small folks, all folks do. Fresh up, 7-Up, 7-Up, 7-Up. You like it, it likes you.
Sparkling, crystal clear 7-Up is so pure, so good, so wholesome for everyone. Get the family supply of 24 bottles.
Fresh up, 7-Up, 7-Up, 7-Up. You like it, it likes you.
All right, let's roll on here. Philip Marlowe. The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, starring Gerald Mohr. And this goes back 77 years to March 26, 1949. The story of The Green Flame.
When it started, it was simple, just a lawsuit for damages. But before it was over, it was far from simple, and the damages were murder. All because of a red-headed woman, a ghostwriter with ambition, and a match that burned with a bright green flame.
From the pen of Raymond Chandler, outstanding author of crime fiction, comes his most famous character as CBS presents The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. Now, with Gerald Mohr, starred as Philip Marlowe, we bring you tonight's exciting story, The Green Flame.
It had been the kind of early start, late finish crowded in between day that had made breakfast coffee, lunch a ham sandwich on the run, and dinner nothing. So by the time it finally ended, it was pushing 9 o'clock, and I was both a little tired and a lot hungry. All of which made the feast I could imagine spread out in front of me over an emerald green tablecloth something better than good enough to eat. Blue Point oysters on a half shell, a Caesar salad, veal scallopini topped with mushrooms the size of silver dollars. Oh, I was ready for it. Yes, well, the oysters once again became a blue ashtray. The scallopini a notebook. The green cloth underneath all, my desk blotter. Hello, Marlowe speaking.
Dodie Whitmore, Marlowe. Ever hear of me?
I have. I've also heard you own half a dozen screen magazines, a local radio station, and a daily published for the motion picture industry called the Hollywood Trades. Does that cover it?
Not quite. Today I acquired something else. A libel suit for $100,000 that was just slapped against the trades by a has-been actor named Bradford Colby, which, Marlowe, is the reason I'm calling you.
Oh?
So drop whatever you're doing, boy, and get over here to the Whitmore building.
Whitmore building?
We're on El Centro near Gower, and closed tomorrow's Sunday, no addition.
Figures.
When the night watchman lets you in, turn left, keep walking till you get to an office numbered 116. You got that?
Yeah, 116. But if you don't mind, Miss Whitmore, I'd like to do something. I'd like to eat first.
Make it coffee and a ham sandwich at the outside and get over here fast.
Coffee? Look, Miss Whitmore, I'm starving.
Marlowe, how much do you get a day?
25 in expenses. Why?
I'm willing to pay 125, and you keep track of the expenses. Now what do you say, boy?
Boy says coffee and a ham sandwich will leave him stuffed. Goodbye, Miss Whitmore.
Come in, Marlowe. Sit down over here, and if you smoke cigars, don't. I can't stand them. Drink?
No, thanks.
Marlowe, our A1 gossip columnist, Stanley McGrath, had this to say in today's edition of the Trades.
Mm-hmm.
The sometimes actor Bradford Colby won't call it quits. When refused a part by an independent producer who's short on funds, Colby offered to hawk all and come up with $20,000 if the producer would change his mind. The producer wouldn't. End of quote.
And beginning of noise from Colby, huh?
Yes, a clamor that we can only silence by proving that McGrath, what he said, is true. Which shouldn't be impossible because Max was a thorough man and never heard of the word rumor.
Wait a minute. What do you mean was a thorough man?
He died of a stroke, Marlowe, at 5 this morning en route to the hospital, age 61. His column, as usual, arrived here yesterday afternoon in the mail. He always wrote from his home, which is a junk-filled cracker box up on North Brunson.
Yeah, now you're being sued by Colby for damages, huh? The late Mr. McGrath isn't around to prove what he said is true.
You catch. And being very unpopular with producers myself these past 30 years, Marlowe, I've no chance of any help from the one who actually turned Colby down for that part, whoever he is.
All of which makes my job what?
Precisely this. Find Mac's source of information. Come in, Larry. Larry North, Marlowe. My editor and anybody's Napoleon. Larry, meet Mr. Marlowe.
How do you do?
How do you...
Dodie, I've just found out that old Mac's only legman, a queer duck named Leonard Phipps, left town sometime yesterday for San Diego.
May or may not be back by now. Where's Marlowe going to start?
Well, I
At
figured...
old Mac's place. Larry and I have already checked there, Marlowe. 8312 North Bronson. Maybe you'll grab onto something that we overlooked. Here's the key.
Thanks.
Mac lived alone. Don't get wrapped up in his notes. They're gibberish. And remember, my lawyers are sure that we'll lose this case if we can't prove what Mac said was the truth.
Well, yeah,
Call as soon as you get a lead, and if I'm out, Larry will be in his office next door. And, Marlowe, don't waste any time. There's a lot at stake, boy.
What Dodie Whitmer had labeled a cracker box turned out to be a 5-room, slightly beat down, almost square house set back some 50 carelessly landscaped feet from a high stucco wall that said the late Mr. McGrath had lived alone and liked it. And when I entered and went to his study where I turned on a desk lamp, I saw what my client had meant by junk. There were the odds and ends that a man collects in a lifetime. On his desk, a tarnished loving cup for excellence in reporting, dated 1927. Beyond that, on the mantel, an autographed picture of Teddy Roosevelt, and next to it, a paperweight from Niagara Falls. And then an item I hadn't expected. In a shadowed corner of the room, there was somebody else. A tall, gaunt somebody else, wearing horn-rimmed glasses and papers sticking out of every pocket. He was slowly, an inch at a time, backing off from the edge of the circle of light in which I stood. I took one casual step toward the desk and then nailed him.
Get your hands off me.
Why? So you can start running, Mr. Leonard Phipps?
How do you know my name?
I'm psychic. I also know you just got back from San Diego. What I don't know is what you're doing here. Now, come on. Talk, fast.
Let go. Leave me alone. I'll talk. I've got nothing to hide from the right party. Who are you?
Philip Marlowe, private detective who's working for Dodie Whitmer, a lady impatient to know which producer McGrath was talking about. In that article on Colby this morning. Now, do I qualify?
Yes, of course. We're both after the same piece of information, Mr. Marlowe.
No?
I want to find that answer, too, and then whisper it into Dodie's ear.
Just to save her $100,000?
No. Just to get a chance to fill McGrath's shoes. And don't laugh, because I've been ghosting that column for the past month now.
Didn't McGrath write this morning's column himself?
No, he didn't. I did. But the piece on Colby was not mine. McGrath must have added that himself, the fool.
Ah, you don't sound like you're happy in your work, Phipps.
I wasn't. Mac was a tyrant. I put up with him because he promised sooner or later to let Dodie Whitmer know that I was doing his work.
Don't be too bitter, Phipps. Mac couldn't have known exactly when he was going to die.
Well, what if he
But to
couldn't?
get back to the subject, have you any idea where we can get a hold of something real to go on?
Yes, I do. Out there in the living room.
Yeah.
Follow me, Marlowe. If you can, in the dark.
Come back here.
Ow! Ooh!
By the time I got to my feet, Phipps was gone. I found another lamp in the dark, turned it on, and started for the telephone. But then I stopped. In the center of the floor, where it must have fallen when the leg man made his wild break, was a wrinkled piece of paper. When I picked it up and turned it over, I was suddenly glad that Mr. Phipps had gotten away because, in his hurry to leave, he had dropped his checkoff list for Operation Bradford Colby. There were a half a dozen producers crossed off above the notation Mac's Place, but below that, and not yet discounted, was a name I'd never heard before, Sherry Sheldon. At that, I called Dodie Whitmer, gave her a quick rundown on what had happened with Phipps, and then tossed the name Sherry Sheldon in. She talked it over with Larry North before she answered. But when she did, I knew that finally we were all getting someplace.
Marlowe, this is good. Larry tells me that Sherry Sheldon is the ex-Mrs. Bradford Colby.
Oh?
And better than that, a redhead with temperament to match. That kind'll talk.
Mm-hmm. Any idea where this item lives?
Yes, a bungalow on Cherimoya, 5800.
5800, huh?
Larry says it's a quiet, dead-end street, but not to let that throw you. Because from what he's heard about the lady herself, she's very much alive. So play it smart, boy. You're probably in the big time now. Good luck.
Only a furlong plus the bungalow on Cherimoya, so when I pulled up and parked away from number 5800, I was still wondering exactly what play it smart, boy meant when the lady in question was known far and wide as a shock of red hair capping so much dynamite. But a minute later, as I walked toward the house, I labeled that thought introspection, dismissed it, and concentrated instead on an acre of tweed jacket that was unfolding out of a long, honey-colored sedan, parked a little ahead of me. When it straightened up to something over 6.5 feet, slammed the car door shut, and stomped inch-thick soled brogans off in a king-sized huff, I knew that this was an angry man. And in the next second, I knew that it and the thespian Bradford Colby were one and the same. When Colby got to Sherry's doorbell and jabbed at it impatiently for attention, I ducked below a hedge nearby. The door opened and then slammed shut again. I left the hedge in favor of an on-the-bias palm tree that bowed toward Milady's chamber, where I could both see and hear what had to be an exciting reunion.
You said that you knew something that couldn't fail to intrigue me on this of all days. So now that I'm here, start intriguing, Sherry, darling.
All right. How's this for a starter? I want, to the penny, exactly 1/2 of the money you're going to get from Dodie Whitmore.
Oh, Sherry, how droll. Now, why in the name of the great American dollar do you think I'd give you so much as a sly glance at that delightful little fund?
For 2 reasons. The first, I deserve it for putting up with both you and your abominable conceit for exactly 1 year.
Still droll, darling.
Go on, keep laughing, Mr. Colby. Keep laughing while I light my cigarette with one of these matches, these cute ones that burn with a green flame.
Where did you get those?
In a little known lodge out beyond Malibu called the Green Flame. Don't you remember, darling, I ran into you there one day last week when you were having lunch with a mysterious stranger whom you tried to keep me from seeing.
You nasty little sneak, Sherry.
When you were so engrossed in keeping yourself between me and your guest that you left this souvenir book of matches at the bar after you graciously lit my cigarette for me.
What of it? They give those matches out by the thousands.
That they do, but, Brad, dear, they all don't have numbers penciled on the inside.
Numbers? What numbers are you talking about?
Now, who's being droll?
What are you getting at, Sherry?
This. I had a call a minute before I got in touch with you from a delightful gentleman who's very interested in what I'm getting at. So here, take your stupid book of matches and get out.
No.
I don't need them anymore.
No, wait, Sherry, now please.
Brad, I am going to have exactly 1/2 of that easy money that's coming your way. And after the gentleman I mentioned and I get together, I may want more. So don't say anything you'll be sorry for later on.
Oh,
Just
Sherry.
get out now. And don't come back until I send for you. Dear Brad.
It was the better part of a minute before Colby, the actor, quit running the gamut of theatrical expressions indexed onto hate, and Colby, the man, stopped biting down hard on his lower lip. Then, without another word, he slammed out of his apartment, ran to his car, and started off. I waited long enough for the steam in the room to condense, and then I walked to the front door and rang the bell delicately, the way I imagined a delightful gentleman like Mr. Leonard Phipps might.
Yes? Can I help you?
I think so, Miss Sheldon. It's only a matter of a simple question. Did you give that Brad Colby story to McGrath yesterday?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Why, Leonard Phipps, of course. I talked to you on the phone, remember?
Oh, yes. It was only half an hour ago, Mr. Phipps, and yet in those 30 minutes, it's surprising how your voice has gone from tenor right down to bass. Good night, Dad.
Not so fast, baby. It's out on my shoe shine.
All right. Come in. I'll tell you what you want to know. I did give that story to McGrath. I did it for revenge. I hate Colby.
Uh-huh. And when your revenge boomeranged and the X came out 100,000 ahead of you, you decided to cut back in. Is that it?
Yeah, Wait a minute. You've been listening. How else would you know all this about Brad and me?
Same way I know you're a liar about giving McGrath that story. Your in, honey, is strictly something different, like a book of matches that burn with a green flame, an accidental meeting at the lodge of the same name. Let's take it from there. Huh?
Yes, why don't you? Right outside, where both you and it belong. Good night, mister.
Marlowe, Philip Marlowe, Sherry. But tell me, why the hurry? Anxious to powder your nose before Mr. Phipps arrives?
Frankly, Philip, I'm anxious to do just about anything that doesn't involve talking to... What is that?
Somebody's hit. Come on. He's over there near the curb.
The car didn't stop, Marlowe.
No, and that scream sounded pretty bad.
Oh, he's dead, isn't he, Marlowe?
Yeah. That can mean only one thing to you, baby.
To me? Why, who is it?
Your late date, Sherry. One Mr. Leonard Phipps.
In just a moment, the second act of The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. But first, on a special program, One Great Hour, later tonight on CBS, President Harry S. Truman will be joined by Gregory Peck, Ila Lupino, and Quentin Reynolds to tell the story of what American religious groups are doing to bring relief to the world's war-stricken people. Be sure to hear One Great Hour tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time over most of these same CBS network stations. Now, with our star, Gerald Mohr, we return to the second act of Philip Marlowe and tonight's story, The Green Flame.
red-haired, sophisticated eyes stared down at what seconds ago had been Leonard Phipps. The sound of the powerful car that had slammed the life out of him whirred into silence far down the street. All that was left of Stanley McGrath's overambitious leg man was a twisted, broken scarecrow, sprawled over the curb and half up on the sidewalk. It wasn't pretty. And the sight of it cracked Sherry's self-assurance like a rock through a window pane. When she stopped pressing the knuckles of one hand against her mouth and looked at me, she was scared. Clear through.
Marlowe, this horrible thing, it was an accident, wasn't it?
Oh, sure. About as accidental as if they'd used a sledgehammer on him. Oh, yes. You only wish it was an accident because you're next in line and you know it. Remember, he was on his way to see you when this happened to him.
I don't know what you mean.
I mean, it's a high-priced game, baby, and they're playing for keeps. So you better level with me and fast. What's so important about those green matches?
I don't know.
You're a liar. You're going to wind up looking like Phipps here before the sun comes up.
No,
And
stop
tell me
it.
the truth, you little fool. Come on.
I am, I swear. Phipps called me because he thought I might have given McGrath that story on Brad, but I didn't.
And why was Phipps still interested? Why did he want to talk to you?
Because I told him I'd seen Brad with someone at the Green Flame last week, and that Brad was very upset when he found me there.
All right, who is he with?
I don't know.
That's not the impression you gave your ex-husband, beautiful.
I was swinging in the dark, Marlowe. 5 people left the Green Flame at the same time. I couldn't tell which one had been with Brad, but I'd know them if I saw them again, and Phipps thought that together we could figure out who it was.
Go on. What about the numbers in that book of green matches? What were they?
811. They were written
811?
inside, yes.
What does that fit, a hotel room?
Well, I don't know that either.
You mean it was just another swing in the dark?
Yes, but it connected, Marlowe. It scared him when I mentioned it, so it must be important.
Yeah? Take another look at Phipps, baby. See how important it is. Now try again, real hard. Remember what 811 means.
Marlowe, I just don't know. Please believe me.
Maybe you're just thick. Maybe you got too much nerve, but I'll tell you one thing, Sherry. I wouldn't be in your spot for 10 times $100,000 because I don't think you're going to live until morning.
Oh, I didn't think that Brad would go this far. What I've told you is the truth.
Wait a minute. Shut up. Somebody's coming. It might be Bradford. Now you get out of here.
Well, how? I don't have my car.
Take mine, that coupe. Here are the keys. Go down to the office of the Hollywood Trades. He won't show his face around there. Find Larry North or Doty.
Well, all right, but what about you?
Go on, will you? Beat it. I stepped into the shadows of the trees that bordered the walk and waited. I heard Sherry slam the door on my car and burn $5 worth of rubber off my new fist tires getting away. A second later, the visitor I was expecting showed up, but it wasn't Brad Colby. It was Larry North. He ran 3 bustling steps out into the street and watched my coupe scoot out of sight. Then he spotted the corpse. His mouth fell open and he tiptoed slowly toward it like he was afraid he might wake it up. When I moved out into the light, he saw me and turned.
Marlowe! Do you know about this? Who is it?
It's Leonard Phipps.
Phipps? McGrath's leg man?
Yeah. Driver didn't so much as look back.
What a stinking break. Phipps in a hit-and-run accident at a time like this.
Look, you jump to your conclusions, North, and I'll jump to mine.
Eh? What do you mean?
Phipps knew something fishy about that item in McGrath's column, and Sherry Sheldon knew something fishy about Colby. So from where I stand, Colby couldn't afford to let them get together.
No accident? That's a daring observation, Marlowe.
For $100,000, I know plenty of guys who do a thing like this every day in the week. You can buy a lot of distance with that kind of money.
Hey, you're right, of course. What exactly does the Sheldon girl know? Did you find out?
Only partly. Bradford's mixed up with someone else on this deal. Sherry doesn't know who, but if we can get the other tie-in, she'll be able to identify that person on sight.
Yeah. Well, did she have anything else?
Number 811 in the book of matches. Mean anything?
811? No.
Hey, come on, North. Quit staring at him. You're making yourself sick. Let's get out of here.
Yes, all right. Well, I guess I better. Bradford Colby must be out of his mind.
Maybe. I'll let you know. I'm going to drop in on him now before the cops do and check my theory over with him. Where does he live?
Yeah, on Wilcox, a villa in the Midcliff Gardens. Marlowe, I'm going in and talk to Sherry. Maybe I can find out who Colby's working with.
She's not here. I sent her down to the paper in my car to stay with you or Doty until things cool
Yes,
off.
but Doty isn't there. She went out for some reason right after you called. There's no one there now but the night watchman.
Oh, great. Now, look. Drop me off at Colby's place, and you get down there and find Sherry. She's worth $100,000 to Doty Whitmer, but only if she lives. Now, let's go. While the natty little Napoleon in the elevator scurried off to fetch his car, I ran inside, put a fast call through to the police, and submitted the shortest report on record of a hit-and-run death. By the time I got back, North was waiting at the curb with the door open. I piled in beside him, and 10 minutes later we glided to a stealthy stop on Wilcox at the ivy-covered archway over the Midcliff Garden gate. Neat slices of amber light poured through a big Venetian blind on the window of a villa at the rear of the court, which North identified as Colby's. and in the same breath reminded me that the actor was a strapping 6'6" and a desperate man. He urged me to be careful, and I urged him to hurry, and as he left, I walked toward the big window and saw Bradford inside, slumped deep in the lap of a suede easy chair, doing a solo with a bottle of Paul Masson champagne, and looking about as desperate as a sleepy St. Bernard. I walked around to the front door, decided to try the shock treatment to blast him out of his blasé attitude.
Yes, what do you want?
Get inside. Go on, move!
Take your hands off me!
You might have gotten away with that trumped-up suit for damages, Colby, but you're not going to get away with murder. You killed Leonard Phipps, didn't you?
What are you raving about? Who's Leonard Phipps and who are you?
Name's Marlowe, and I'll tell you something, Colby. The only reason I'm not busy knocking your head off at this minute is because I want to hear the whole story right from the top. Now, first, who wrote that item in McGrath's column for
Are you mad? McGrath wrote it himself, the venomous little creature. He and Donnie Whitmer used that to damage my reputation, and now they're going to pay for it.
Oh, stop it. You knocked your reputation into a cocked hat every time you step in front of a camera.
Well,
Your damage suit's a phony, and you know it. Now, where's that book of matches with the famous 811 inside?
811?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Those that burn with a green flame.
Yes, yes,
You've been talking
yes.
with my imaginative ex-wife, I see. She's burning with quite a green flame herself, isn't she? How that woman hates to see me get ahead.
Never mind. Where is it?
If you'll allow me, Marlowe, I'll just answer this. Bradford Colby speaking. I see. Yes, I heard. That's right. I'll do my best, darling. At least 10. Now, goodbye, Helen. Just an old friend, Marlowe. You can let your eyebrow down again.
Helen, huh? You know, you always were a lousy actor. I'm getting a little sick of you, Colby. And I've got a hunch I'm due for quite a stall, so start talking, huh? Where's that book of matches?
Easy, Marlowe. Take it easy. Here it is.
Come on, let's see it.
Of course. Here, take a good look. Oh!
What a character. Up to your chin in trouble and you make waves.
Lousy snoop. Oh! Yeah, that does it. Tough guy. You're not leaving, Marlowe. You're staying right here. And just to make sure...
No, you don't, Colby.
Oh!
You sucker. Should have loosened your corset. I waded through the chunks of glazed ceramics that Colby had smashed on my head and worked hard to hold back the wave of darkness that kept rising up under me until I made it to the kitchen, where I splashed a few quarts of cold water on my face. Then I went back. Colby was still holding down the hooked rug he landed on, and the book of matches that had started the argument was on the floor beside him. I picked it up and opened it. The number was there, inside, written in blue wax pencil. But I thought I'd made a mistake. Until I realized that maybe Sherry Sheldon had made the mistake. When that idea hit me, it brought another one along, and I remembered that Colby had received orders by phone to delay me.
Oh, my...
Then I knew I'd better hang on to my head and move, but fast. I rolled him over and found the keys to his car. I was halfway out the door when he came to.
Stop! Come back. You can't leave here.
It's my exit, not yours, ham-bone. Good night. It took all of 5 minutes to get from Wilcox to El Centro in Colby's long, honey-colored sedan. And on a hunch, I drove down the alley to the back door of the Whitmer building. The hunch paid off, because I had stopped and turned on the parking lights when the door opened and I saw exactly what I'd expected. The watchman was on the floor out cold, and the little Napoleon in elevated shoes was staging a big exodus with his arms full of a very limp redhead named Sherry Sheldon. As soon as he saw the honey-colored car, he started talking.
Brad, you idiot! I told you to stay home.
Did you do it?
No, she's only unconscious. There wasn't time. We'll have to finish it someplace else.
Put her in the back seat.
All right. Here. Now let's get out. Marlowe.
Don't move, little man. I'm too tired for any more trouble. I'll shoot first. So you're the boy on the inside with all the brains, huh? You cooked this whole thing up with Colby. He gets libeled and sues Dodie Whitmer for damages, and then you two split the settlement between you. Correct me if I'm wrong, North. You got your chance when McGrath died after turning in his copy. All you had to do was write that one libelous item included in McGrath's column, and nobody could ever explain where the story had come from.
That stupid fool, Bradford. I could never trust him to do anything right.
Is that why you killed Phipps?
Yes. And if Brad Colby had held on to you for another 5 minutes, I would have had time to get out of here.
Yes, and so would I.
Cherry, are you all right?
No, not yet.
Hey!
No.
Oh.
Where he and Brad are going, Marlowe, I'd never get another chance to even the score.
Oh, baby. You handle a spiked heel like Babe Ruth handled a bat. He's out.
Yeah, but Phil, you should see what he hit me with. Oh, brother.
Come on, beautiful. It's time to turn out the lights, get in touch with Dodie, and call the law. Let's go.
Well, let's go, Sergeant.
Yes, Inspector. Thank you, Miss Whitmore.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, I'm glad those cops and the cigars are gone. Here, kids, help yourselves. You both look like you need it.
This you can say again.
How I need it.
Marlowe, you could have slid me through the hole in a lifesaver when you said my own editor, Larry North, was it.
Yeah, it gave me a jolt, too, Dodie.
Yeah, and me. The hard way. But, Phil, I am sorry about that mistake I made. I could have saved us some trouble.
What mistake is this?
Well, you see, honey, we knew that whoever was working with Colby had written down a number for him in a book of matches. Sherry here thought it was 811. But when I saw it, it was upside down from that, so it came out 118.
118?
Mhm.
Why, that's Larry's office number and phone extension.
Check. Yours is 116, and his was right next door. I remembered. So 118 was it. That, coupled with the fact that it was written in blue pencil, which is standard equipment for all editors, gave me the tip.
Honest now, Phil.
Hmm?
Did you figure that out, or was it luck?
Well, it's a trade secret. Hey, you know something? I missed dinner tonight. You know I'm starving?
Well, I know a wonderful place.
Oh.
They have matches like this, see? It burns with a green flame. Will you join us, Dodie?
Yes, we would love to have you.
You'd rather have whooping cough. Go on, you. Get out of here and good night.
Good night, Dodie.
Oh, and it will be from here on in. I guarantee it.
A wonderful supper was waiting for us at the Green Flame restaurant. It was all arranged by a call from Dodie. And it waited until it got cold because we didn't show up to eat it. There was something about the moonlight glinting on the ocean, and a certain stillness in the morning air that made food seem somehow unimportant. So, when I finally dropped Sherry off at her place on Cherimoya, and went home to my apartment on Franklin, it was either very late or very early, depending on the viewpoint. There was just one lonely sardine and a cold baked potato in the refrigerator. So I ate it. Then I sat down on my bed to light my last cigarette. And I wasn't disappointed when the match flared into an ordinary yellow flame.
Good night, Phil.
Happy Marlowe.
The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, created by Raymond Chandler, star Gerald Mohr, and are produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Script is by Mel Donnelly, Robert Mitchell, and Gene Levitt. Featured in the cast were Fay Baker, Larry Dobkin, Myra Marsh, Howard McNear, and Parley Bear. The special music is by Richard O'Runt. Be sure and be with us again next week when Philip Marlowe says...
It was a grim joke that started when 6 heirs came to an ugly house on a rain-swept island to hear a madman's will. But the joke soon turned to murder, and in the end it was hard to tell who had the last laugh.
Tomorrow night, Helen Hayes stars in the famous comedy The Farmer Takes a Wife on CBS's Electric Theater. And Eve Arden stars as America's favorite schoolmistress, our Miss Brooks. You'll delight in the expert comedy of these two great feminine stars when the Electric Theater and our Miss Brooks come your way tomorrow night over most of these same CBS network stations. This is Roy Rowan speaking. Now, stay tuned for Gangbusters, which follows immediately over most of these same stations. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Van Heflin starred as Marlowe in the summer series for 1947 that replaced the Bob Hope show, so it was sponsored by Pepsi, the summer of 1947. Now, in 1948, the show continued with Gerald Mohr playing Marlowe, except for one episode. In one episode, as I recall, William Conrad starred as Marlowe, and I don't know why. But the show ran from September of 1948 to September of 1950. Then it came back for the summer of 1951 as a summer replacement for Hopalong Cassidy. Conrad filled in that summer series. That's when he filled in. So there's that. And the show, I don't think the show had a regular sponsor. I think at one point in time the show may have had some Wrigley's spearmint commercials in it. Wrigley's would buy spots in some of these shows, but wasn't a legit straight-up sponsor, if you know what I mean. All right, coming up next, we'll go out to the farm and see what's going on with David and Claudia.
Cola, things go better with Coca-Cola. Things go better with Coke. Life is much more fun when you're refreshed. And Coke refreshes you best. It's the refreshingest. Food goes better with fun, goes better with you, go better with Coke. The real live one puts extra fun in you and everything you do. So things go better with Coca-Cola. Things go better with Coke.
Right now, why not let an ice-cold Coke make things go better for you? Cold, crisp, never too sweet. Fun. Food. And people. All need the spirited taste of ice-cold Coke to be really refreshed.
Things go better with Coca-Cola. Things go better with Coke.
I think I was wrong. I don't think David and Claudia are out on the farm. I think that they are in New York City, waiting for stuff on the farm to be dealt with. And they're dealing with flowers today. As we go to Claudia, 78 years ago, March 26, 1948, sponsored, of course, by the guys the Kingston Trio were singing about there.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you, transcribed Monday through Friday, by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
All through with breakfast, darling?
Yes, dear. All through.
I don't know what you find to be so gay about today.
Any objections?
Oh, loads of them.
Such as?
Well, it's gray out and it should be sunny. It's cold and it should be warm. Looks as if it's going to snow and it should be going to be beautiful.
In other words, it's winter, and it should be spring.
Exactly. Don't you mind?
Well, another couple of days of winter can't be helped.
But it's all wrong, David. It's almost Easter. Come to think of it, Easter's on Sunday. Say, isn't Easter awfully early this year?
That's why it's still wintry out.
Easter means sunshine and warmth and spring. Doesn't feel like Easter at all, David. Doesn't even feel as if we should drive up to Eastbrook on a day like this.
Oh, we've got to go up, darling. I've got to try to find a farmer for the place, or we're not going to be able to move in.
Couldn't we drive up tomorrow?
I suppose so, but the weather might not be any better tomorrow.
Oh, that's true. Well, I suppose I as well clear up the breakfast dishes.
Darling, you're not really upset by the weather, are you?
No, not really, I guess.
Well, things don't always happen on cue. You can't always wake up one morning and find grass on the ground, birds in the trees, and a blue sky.
Can't you?
No, except in fairy tales, nursery rhymes, and bad novels.
Bad novels. Why do people always say novels are bad when they describe things the way people wish they were?
You have something there.
When I was a little girl, I remember waking up in the morning, and one morning it felt different than any other morning. Mama didn't make me wear a heavy overcoat, mittens and leggings.
That's what you think you remember. But today, as a hint of things to come, I let you go out without your leggings.
And somehow, as if Mama had planned it all, the park would feel all different that day, and everything looked different.
I guess it was like that with me, too.
It was?
First day we took baseball bats to the park instead of footballs. Hey, you ever been to a baseball game?
I never had a brother.
Oh, when spring's really here, and the Yankees and the Giants come to New York, I'll take you to a baseball game.
Oh, I wish it were today.
Oh, you think you're going to like baseball, huh?
Well, I think I'm going to like spring, huh?
I think if we're going to the country, we better get started. I've got to get back in time to be in the office this afternoon.
I guess so. I'll clear the dishes. Oh, David, look, it's snowing out.
So it is.
Oh, isn't that awful? I'm so sick of winter.
It's only a little flurry, darling. See, the snow's not even sticking to the ground.
Honestly, it feels as if spring is never going to come this year.
You're just in a hurry because of the farm.
I'm just in a hurry. And I'm also thinking of all the little Easter rabbits and the chicks. They'll freeze. Say, David, it is amazing, isn't it, how many chicks manage to get born in time for Easter? Especially considering how early Easter is this year. It's Mama, I'll answer.
You always find a way out of your responsibilities, don't you?
Oh, leave the dishes, darling. I'll do them after.
I don't mind.
But I do. Hello, Mama? Yes, we've left. We're halfway up to Eastbrook. And it's a dreadful day in Eastbrook, too. The roads are icy and everything's all gray. Yes, of course, I'll dress warmly. Mama, when do you think spring's going to come? Ever?
Who do you think your mother is, an oracle?
Mama, are you an oracle? She says no, David, she isn't. Here, she wants to talk to you.
Hello, Mother. Yes, of course, it's perfectly all right to drive up today. No, it's not that bad out. Just because it's Easter weekend, you two girls think there's a law against snow. It's no worse than it was yesterday.
It's no worse than it'll be tomorrow, worse luck.
You sure you don't want to come along, Mother? All right. All right, fine. Bye.
Is she coming?
No, she said something about leaving the North Pole to Admiral Byrd.
Well, I suppose I better hurry and get dressed. We'll never get back. Oh, David, if only I could see one little flower.
Oh, you'll see plenty on Sunday. I suppose even if it hails, the ladies will turn out with their latest cabbages and window boxes on their heads.
I'm going to wear the new hat I bought with Julia. Wait till you see it. David, look out the window and see if the snow's going to stop.
Yes, ma'am.
Well?
Well, my arthritis ain't paining me, and my rheumatism ain't a-throbbing, so it's hard to tell.
Well, just lick your finger and hang it out the window.
That's for wind, not snow. No, it doesn't look like it's going to let up.
You'd think it was December out. It was Christmas instead of Easter coming up.
Still angling for presents, aren't you?
Say, I think I hear a horse.
A gift horse?
What would a horse be doing out in a day like this?
I can't hear him.
Well, lean out and see.
All right. You're right, darling. It is a horse.
Has he got his galoshes on?
No galoshes. He's wearing a gray felt hat. His Easter bonnet.
Flowers.
Hey, you know what he's pulling?
My leg.
He's pulling a wagon full of flowers.
Oh, don't be silly. Who takes flowers out in a snow flurry?
Well, look for yourself.
David, you're right. It is the flower man. I guess he didn't look at the sky before he left the house this morning.
How would you like some flowers, darling?
Flowers for me?
Come on, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go down and get you a geranium. Maybe that'll cheer you up.
Oh, I'm cheered up all right. I'm just a little depressed.
Well, then we'll undepress you.
Flowers. Buy your flowers from Giuseppe. Geranium, petunia, daffodil, flowers. Nice spring flowers.
Poor flower man. He's living in a fool's paradise.
At least it's a paradise.
Look, isn't that the most pathetic horse you've ever seen?
Careful, darling. Don't slip on the sidewalk.
Oh,
flowers. Buy some flowers, eh? Nice flowers.
Hey, whoa. Hey, wait a minute there.
Whoa.
We'd like some flowers.
Whoa there, Margarita, eh? Whoa. Now, what do you have, eh? Nice flowers, every kind.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Nice, no?
They're beautiful, but aren't they going to freeze on a day like this?
What's the matter with today, huh?
Oh, nothing much except it's snowing and it's bleak.
The snow. That's a little thing.
Oh, maybe little to you, but Margarita looks as if she's freezing.
With that nice warm blanket. Margarita, she's fine. She look like that in the middle of August, too.
Maybe she's dreaming of a white Easter, huh?
This little bit of snow. She's a winter saying goodbye.
Oh, I'd much rather the sun were saying hello.
The sun? The sun, she's here, too.
She is?
She's up there, in the middle of the sky, right behind that cloud.
Which one?
Oh, she's just waiting to take out the head.
She's acting a little shy.
See, a little shy. But she come out all right. When she see Giuseppe and Margherita out with the little flowers, she be no more shy. She's come out, and she's going to beam all over the place.
It's quite a wagon you got there. What kind of flowers have you got?
All the time.
Oh, they look so cheerful and so much like spring.
They are the spring. My wagon is full of the spring. She's flowing over with the spring.
Giuseppe,
Yes?
maybe you are the first swallow.
The first swallow?
I mean, maybe now that you're here, the others will come back, too.
Come back, the swallows?
So my wife means maybe nature will take a hint.
Oh, nature. She's just waking up. She's been in a deep sleep. In a deep, sweet, white sleep. Sometimes she take a little bit longer to wake him up. But when she wake up, the whole world feels good. And she feel young again. If you wake up too soon, you don't feel so good. But this spring, when Easter she's come, everything will be just like new.
Maybe you've got something there, Giuseppe.
A little bit of
A
patience.
lot of patience, if you ask me.
But it's worth it. Life begins not in the middle of winter, because it's the first of the year, but in the heart. And when in the heart it's a feel like a spring, and then the snow, she will go away, and the sun will come out, and everything and everybody gets another chance.
Does your heart feel like spring, Giuseppe?
Look, this morning I look out of the window, and in my heart she say to me, Giuseppe, take out the flowers and walk them up and down the street and sell the flowers. The spring, it will see you, and it will know that it's a time for it to come and to give everybody a chance at a new life.
Well, suppose you sell us some new life, Giuseppe. Darling, just look at all the flowers.
Aren't they wonderful?
Now, which of the flowers would you like?
Which? Oh, I like them all.
Geraniums, beautiful bright red for courage. A white lily for the goodness and the Easter. Lilac for the sweetness and the hope. Take them. Take them as much as you like, eh?
All right, we will. Let's look at these over here. Oh, my, these are beautiful.
Oh, those white ones, and smell
Aren't they
them,
lovely?
darling.
Here now, Claudia. Claudia, darling, hold out your arms.
Oh, David, I feel just like a bride.
You look like a bride. Here you are, a geranium.
Oh, feel his petals are just like velvet.
Here's some lilacs, too, darling.
They smell so sweet. David, they're tickling my nose.
And a daffodil. You must have daffodils, eh?
Of course, we must have daffodils.
Oh, mademoiselle, any room in your arms for a little bunch of violets?
Always room for a little bunch of violets, darling.
There you are. The violets, just like a crown.
Here, now let's put them all together. There we
Oh,
are.
I've never seen so many flowers. Aren't
Are they too
wonderful?
heavy?
No, it's like carrying air, warm, sweet spring air.
And look at the snow. She's stopped snowing.
David, it has.
And behind that, the cloud, the sun, which is waking up. In a moment, the whole world will be all anew. The whole world. Like my wagon of flowers.
Well, here you are, Giuseppe. And keep the change.
Oh, thank you. I'm always a feeling that for the first flowers there should be no money, but...
No buts about it. The first flowers are worth the most. The only shame is that the only way we can let you know is with money.
You let me know before. And now, Margherita, we push along, eh? And sell the flowers all the way down to the street.
Goodbye, Giuseppe. And come again.
Goodbye, I come again. And when I walk back after the summer with my wagon empty, the first swallow, she will fly away. Hey, Margherita, come on, get up. Flowers.
David.
Nice.
Air feels warmer.
The sky's clearing.
Almost as if he brought spring with him.
I think Giuseppe was right. I think we bring spring when our hearts know it's time.
David, let's drive to Eastbrook And let's take all the flowers with us. We'll let the country know that it's Easter and it's spring and it's time to wake up.
Flowers, nice and fresh, spring of flowers.
The Coca-Cola Company and your local Coca-Cola bottler have asked me to extend to you and your family their very good wishes for a happy Easter.
You know, Mr. King, you feel it that the spring is just around the Sunday.
Well, it's certainly welcome, Giuseppe. I guess everybody's had just about enough of winter.
You know, when I was young and in love, I dream only of April and the blue skies. Oh, yes, I pack my bag and off I go to the country to live, eh?
But it's not that simple anymore. Before Claudia and David can pack their bags and move to the farm, they've got to rent their apartment.
Oh, there should not be any trouble today.
No trouble, but perhaps a little confusion, shall we say. Whatever it is, if you happen to be in the neighborhood on Monday, Giuseppe, you'll find out.
I come by with my wagon. And now I must go. Happy Easter, Mr. King, eh? And buy some flowers, eh? Nice, fresh spring of flowers. All the kind of flowers.
Happy Easter to you, Giuseppe. And as I was about to say, every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again Monday at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For ice-cold Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. These programs star Catherine Bard as Claudia and Paul Crabtree as David. And the entire production is supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
There you have it, 78 years ago, March 26, 1948, Claudia, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And of course, Claudia and David will be back on Sunday's podcast. Our Friday podcast will have westerns with a fantasy element to it. We'll have, of course, Reed Hadley in Frontier Town, Gunsmoke starring William Conrad, John Dehner in Have Gun Will Travel, and an episode of Escape from 77 years ago, The Diamond as Big as the Ritz. And we'll head to Wistful Vista to see what's going on with Fibber McGee and Molly. That's coming up tomorrow. Have yourself a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.